Tutu are gearing up for the next governor of this county. What is their agenda for Narok? Don't miss the Narok County gubernatorial debate this Thursday, 2nd of June from Masai Mara University, exclusively on KBC Channel 1 from 9:50 p.m.
And this is how you are thanking me, eh? Kweli wewe na food hakuna hata tofauti.
Do you know how to play your cards? Sema kuchitetea.
What is so big with the word mysterious?
Did tell them that is a very small word, by the way.
Kamene, I usually admire your English.
Okay, exposure is a good thing.
Kamene, okay, look at Julia. You see those little colored strings and materials on her hair?
Oh,
now, look at my hair. Do you see such?
Kiswahili gani sasa pala? Ile marimu.
Nanyuki, are you ready? Saturday night show SNS coming your way live from AJ's The Ranch in Nanyuki this coming Saturday, 4th of June 2022 from 4 p.m. up till late. Country meets the 80s and 90s. Mutajibamba, nyama choma, great music by DJ Stano on the Wheels of Steel, na pia mimi John Karani JK live on location with Saturday Night Show.
Good morning, the second day of June 2022. You're tuned to KBC Channel 1 and this is Good Morning Kenya. I'm Regina Manyara. Now, we are 59 years in as far as self-governance is concerned, and that is the Republic of Kenya. Congratulations, Kenya. Indeed, sisi ni wa Kenya daima. Now, yesterday marked that particular day as Madaraka Day, being President Uhuru Kenyatta's last Madaraka Day as president, given that the term or his term of office comes to an end as we take to the polls August 9th. That is 60 days away. And what was said in that particular speech? Well, analysts will come and tell you that there was a lot of strategy and political push and pull during the Madaraka Day speech. But all in all, the president went further, or rather used this opportunity to address what he termed as key projects under his legacy. We will be highlighting that as we proceed in this particular broadcast, and we also invite your views. You can get us on Twitter at KBC Channel 1, and I'm on Twitter too as Ray Manyara. Now, this is a whole team. It's Thursday being the new Friday, so matters of entertainment. Just after we bring you up to speed with those stories that have been making headlines in the last 24 hours. Good morning, Jane.
Good morning, the lady in blue. Leo lingia studio kambio ni fanwa
Chelsea. But I'm happy them saying that I'm a Chelsea fan. The day that I did mustard yellow,
ulikuwa UDA.
Yes.
Nonetheless, ni life. Welcome once again to the program. Glad you are with us this beautiful second day of June. Happy post-Madaraka Day. We do hope you enjoyed your day and your holiday yesterday. Glad you are with us. I am Jane Wambui. Thank you for choosing KBC Channel 1. Mike.
Yes, a very good morning to you. This is Entertainment Thursday. Thursday is indeed the new Friday. We have a lot lined up for you, so do stay tuned. Doreen.
Right, and even as talk about happy post Madaraka Day, just as Regina has mentioned, there's clearly a lot of talk in town in respect to what happened yesterday, being the last of President Uhuru Kenyatta's, national event, and also what transpired between him and the deputy president. So obviously the dailies have that story. It's still a trending conversation on the socials, particularly on Twitter. So when we get to that, we'll also be telling you more about what happened, particularly yesterday, and also what different, political pundits are saying in respect to that, and particularly what it meant. Aside from that, just as Mike has mentioned, it is Entertainment Thursday, so clearly that is what is going to be dominating our conversations this Thursday morning. Stay put up until the end of the show. Many thanks for making time. I'm Doreen Arange Okello.
Indeed, you're in the right place this morning for not only entertainment, but also what has been happening in the last 24 hours. We take a quick break. We'll be right back with the news. Good morning, this is Good Morning Kenya, and I'm Regina Manyara. Now let's bring you up to speed with those stories that have been making headlines in the last 24 hours, and we take you back in time to what was happening yesterday as Kenya celebrated the 59th Madaraka Day. President Uhuru Kenyatta used this opportunity as the head of state to outline his legacy over the last 2 terms in office. President Kenyatta defended the deployment of the Kenya Defence Forces in the management of selected public institutions, as well as a record of his administration in borrowing. The head of state, however, asked the incoming regime to be keen on rooting out corruption and divisive politics.
The 59th Madaraka Day celebrations at the historic Uhuru Gardens. President Uhuru Kenyatta leading the nation in the occasion that marks the achievement of Kenya's self-internal rule. It was the first time in the reign of a Jubilee administration that Deputy President William Ruto did not address the nation. President Kenyatta and his Sierra Leone counterpart Julius Maada Bio, who was a chief guest, were the only speakers. President Kenyatta said his administration has spent heavily on infrastructure as a way of laying the foundation for the economic prosperity of a nation.
The naysayers have said that we should not invest so heavily in infrastructure because people do not eat roads, they do not eat bridges. I have refused their pessimism because I know what a new road means to a farmer who has for decades been unable to get their produce quickly to the market. I refuse to delay the dream of world-class ports and fishing support infrastructure because we wanted our fishermen in our oceans and lakes to be able to gain more from their sweat of their brow.
On national security, the head of state says high-value investments on equipment, training and intelligence gathering has yielded fruit.
With the mandate that was given to me, we silenced the wave of terror attacks that had a stranglehold on our nation. And we achieved this by retooling our security organs and making them more capable to address the dynamic contemporary security challenges that Kenya faces.
With Kenya now a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council, President Kenyatta says Kenya's position in the community of nations has been cemented.
On the regional front, Kenya led the push to admit the Democratic Republic of Congo into the East African community. With this singular move, the East African Common Market grew by 90 million people, yielding a now expanded market of 300 million citizens and a consequent enhanced opportunities for our Kenyan enterprises.
The head of state defending the competence-based curriculum against its critiques, claiming the 844 system had proved unresponsive to the needs of learners.
And that is why in December of 2022, the pioneer CBC class, now in 6th grade, will transition to junior secondary. And we believe, and given the manifest success achieved in such a short period of time, there is no turning back with respect to competency-based curriculum.
Through the appointment of 11 women to his cabinet from 2013 and other appointments made by the Public Service and Judicial Service Commissions, President Kenyatta called on Kenyans to continue supporting the cause of gender inclusivity.
In August of this year, if it is the wish of the Kenyan electorate, we have a chance of electing a woman and shattering the glass ceiling by assuming the second highest office in the Republic of Kenya.
The head of state also dismissed his critics, who have accused him of militarizing public affairs and overborrowing.
We turn to our disciplined forces and we summon them to the cause of nation building. And the record must reflect that they have not disappointed us. The only time debt is a burden to a nation is if a nation is led by looters. But in the hands of a visionary administration, debt is a catalyst for rapid development.
Indeed, there, President Uhuru Kenyatta, they are defending his legacy, and if I can quote what he had to say in as far as debt is concerned, is that the only time that debt is a burden to a nation is if the nation is led by a cabal of looters. But in the hands of a visionary administration, debt is a catalyst for rapid development. As it stands, the country's debt burden as of March this year is at 8.4 trillion shillings, and that is according to the Central Bank of Kenya. And this is just about 600 billion shillings shy from the legal ceiling of 9 trillion shillings. Remember, there's been talk for government to raise the debt ceiling to at least either 12 or 15 trillion shillings thereabout. Now, yesterday, during that particular feat, the Madaraka Day celebration, civil servants, medical practitioners, military officers and teachers were among citizens feted by President Uhuru Kenyatta in this year's celebrations. Now, in recognition of distinguished and outstanding service to Kenyans and the country, Zainab Said reports.
10 Kenyans were today presented with national awards and honors by President Uhuru Kenyatta at Uhuru Gardens for their distinction services to the country.
He created a strong delivery.
Former Chief of Staff at State House and Head of Presidential Delivery Unit Nzioka Waita was conferred the Moran of the Order of the Golden Heart for his outstanding services to the nation. The same award was conferred upon Paul Ndungu, the current chair of the 26,000-member St. John's Ambulance Organization.
Brigadier Murashia is the team leader for Project 58, uwanja tuko hapa siku ya leo.
Brigadier Joseph Maina was bestowed the Moran of the Order of the Golden Heart for leading construction and completion of Project 58. Brigadier Caroline Mutiso received the Elder of the Order of the Burning Spear, under whose leadership Kenya for the first time secured a strategic resource database by the government.
Professor Kiprop has been the program manager, Guinea Worm Eradication Program.
For his instrumental role in the elimination of malaria in the country, Professor David Sang was awarded Moran of the Order of the Burning Spear. Dr. Hisa Weston Wakasiaka and Polycarp Otieno Onyango, Senior Director Presidential Delivery Unit at the Coast, received the Moran of the Order of the Burning Spear for the formulation of the fistula policy development and streamlining activities at the Kenya Ports Authority, respectively. The Order of the Grand Warrior was represented to Alice Kwamboka Nyariki, Senior Deputy Director of Pensions at the National Social Security Fund, Major Hussein Athman Weshenga, who oversaw the construction of MV Uhuru 2 at Kisumu and Shupavu at Mombasa Shipyard, and Jendu Tamwangi for contribution in realization of accessible and quality education while at the COVID-19 Education Committee and the CBC Task Force.
Indeed. Now away from, the Madaraka Day celebrations that were held yesterday, also President Uhuru Kenyatta hailed his cabinet secretaries for a job well done during his tenure. Now speaking yesterday at State House when he hosted his cabinet, President Kenyatta said the team made his legacy come true. Cabinet secretaries on their part thanked the president for believing and trusting in them to deliver his Big Four agenda and wished him well as his term in office comes to an end.
It's been a fantastic experience. First of all, I thank the Lord for the opportunity to serve my country, and I thank His Excellency the President for the trust he bestowed and the opportunity he gave me to serve as his minister. The last 10 years have been very exciting, working in the public service and serving the country. Very challenging, and we come to the end of this term much more knowledgeable of the country, and we understand our nation better than we did when we came in.
It's been the best delivery time for me from 2013 when I was the Minister for Foreign Affairs, where I was given all the support, all the facilitation that I needed to be able to put policies in place, to be able to guide the ministry from where it was at to where I left it.
Previously, it was not possible to have a title to an apartment. Now we can have a title to an apartment. So these are some of the laws we've done. We've done many laws to make sure that what we are doing is ingrained in the law. So these are some of the things that we did over the last 4.5 years or so, which we hope the next administration will continue.
Public servants have been the center. They have been the center in the sense that they are the one who develop policies, they implement them, and that's what has made the government of Uhuru Kenyatta realize such achievement.
Kenyans marked Madaraka Day in various ways, and just having a sneak peek onto what was being done in various counties. There were calls for peace and national cohesion during this day's Madaraka Day edition celebrations across the counties. Now that story was prepared by Beatrice Gatonye.
Leaders from across the political divide in Kajiado County set aside their differences to urge residents to promote peace during the electioneering period. Kajiado County Commissioner Wilson Wanyanga said the County Security Committee was ready to oversee peaceful elections, adding that there was no room for political intolerance.
Wakati huu ni wakati wa siasa. Tufanye siasa vile tu huwa tunafanya, na baada ya siasa tujue maisha itaendelea.
In an effort to bring a sense of belonging to our people, we have discarded the age-old indignity of changing children's real names. Many communities in our country living in peace and cohesion as they act out a living in an environment conducive for any enterprise to thrive.
In Mandera, County Commissioner Onesmus Kiatha, who presided over this year's 59th Madaraka Day celebrations, warned politicians propagating hate speech that the law will catch up with them. Sentiments echoed by Mandera Governor Ali Roba, who also called on residents to be wary of political rumor mongers.
Ati unatukana watu na kuongea mambo ingine, alafu ukiitwa na DCI uandike statement unaanza kulia. Usilie, hakuna mahali utaingia katika kaunti yetu, tutakutoa hapo tu.
In Garissa, locals gathered at the Garissa School playground to celebrate this year's Madaraka Day, with the County Commissioner Boaz Chirutich issuing a stern warning to political aspirants who are hiring goons to disrupt political gatherings of their opponents.
Tuliagiza hawa kwamba all sub-counties lazima wafanye ile mkutano ya peaceful elections ili waweze kumap ile areas ambaye iko hotspots, ili waweze kusaidiana na IBC, ili waweze kusaidiana na idara ya polisi kuhakikisha kwamba kuanzia sasa mpaka tarehe 9 na baada ya tarehe 9 tumekuwako na amani.
And in Kiambu, County Commissioner Joseph Nkanatha said the security apparatus had been beefed up to ensure organized gangs are dealt with during this electioneering period. Nkanatha said the local security committee was mapping out hotspots in the county.
Na tunaomba ya kwamba tuwe na kampeni ambazo ni za amani. Sisi kama security committee na viongozi wetu wa kisiasa tumekubaliana ya kwamba tunataka sherehe hizi za mwaka huu siwe na utofauti kabisa na wakati wa mbeleni, wakati watu ni vita ni nini. Hatutaki vitu kama hiyo, na tuko macho.
In Murang'a, County Commissioner Karuku Ngumo has raised concerns over increased suicide and murder cases within the county in the recent past. During this year's Madaraka Day celebrations held at Ihora Stadium, the Commissioner observed that for the last 6 months, the county recorded 35 suicide and 32 murder cases.
It's my appeal to the religious community. It is my appeal to the leadership of the county, community leadership. It's my appeal that even within our groups, zile group tuko nazo, hata kama za kina mama, za vijana, za wazee, hata kama ni investment group, social groups, let us talk about this issue. Even our political leaders, even as you're looking for votes, please let's talk about this issue, because vile mnaona ina graph inaenda juu.
And West Pokot County Commissioner Apollo Okello has issued a shoot-to-kill order to bandits terrorizing the locals. Speaking during Madaraka Day celebrations at Makutano Stadium, the administrator said the security team in the area has resolved to deal decisively with criminals.
Now that is what was happening across the counties yesterday as Kenya marked its 59th day, or rather year of self-rule. Now the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission wants Murang'a Governor Mwangi wa Iria barred from vying for the presidency on grounds of lack of integrity. The EACC has written to the electoral agency IEBC accusing the governor Wairia for obstructing investigations and destroying evidence during a probe on corruption in Murang'a County. The anti-graft agency has also raised integrity issues on 61 aspirants for the gubernatorial positions, including former governors Mike Sonko and Evans Kidero.
With 68 days to the general elections, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has written to IEBC, raising integrity issues on 3 presidential aspirants and 61 gubernatorial aspirants, among others. The anti-graft agency wants Murang'a Governor Mwangi wa Iria barred from vying for presidency on grounds of obstructing EACC investigators and destruction of evidence when executing a search warrant. Former Nairobi Governor Evans Kidero, now vying for Homa Bay gubernatorial seat on an independent ticket, is also on the spot for allegations of impropriety, corruption and economic crime while serving as governor Nairobi City County. His successor Mike Sonko, now vying for Mombasa gubernatorial seat, is viewed unsuitable by EACC after being impeached by the Nairobi County Assembly and the Senate. Other former governors that EACC want barred from the ballot include Nadhif Jama of Garissa, Godhana Doyo of Isiolo, and Daniel Waithaka of Nyandarua County. Governor Anne Waiguru of Kirinyaga, Muthomi Njoki of Tharaka Nithi, and Fahim Twaha of Lamu have also been blacklisted by the anti-graft agency on grounds of corruption. The EACC has also raised integrity issues regarding 83 aspirants seeking various positions in parliament.
So what will happen to the 61? And as far as the integrity question is concerned, we're going to be keeping tabs on that, given that we are just but 60 days away from the August polls. On that note, we take a quick breather. We'll be right back.
my best to talk to her. I'll talk to her on your behalf.
Really?
Can you forgive me? You don't have to ask for forgiveness. There's no one to blame here but your father.
Narok County generates huge revenue from the world-famous Masai Mara National Reserve and the agricultural sector. Two candidates, Moitalel Olekenta and Patrick Olentutu, are gearing up for the next governor of this county. What is their agenda for Narok? Don't miss the Narok County gubernatorial debate this Thursday, 2nd of June from Masai Mara University, exclusively on KBC Channel 1 from 9:50 p.m.
Now, this is in the headlines on Good Morning Kenya right here on KBC Channel 1. Thank you for making time. Now, yesterday was the 59th celebrations of the Madaraka Day, and President Uhuru Kenyatta will be credited for scrapping examination fee for students sitting their national exams, which gave a lease of life to thousands of poor students who would otherwise have been locked out from realizing their dreams. The president, too, will be leaving office after having brought to an end to Moi's dream of the 844 system of education, replacing it with the new competency-based curriculum. John Jacob Curie takes a look at President Uhuru Kenyatta's legacy in education and politics, whose hallmark is the 2018 handshake with his former arch rival Raila Odinga.
In 2015, the Jubilee administration took a decision to scrap examination fees for all students sitting the national examinations in what President Kenyatta said was extending the fundamental promise of opportunity for all. Previously, thousands of poor students were disenfranchised from sitting the examinations after failing to raise the examination fees. Even those lucky to have sat the examinations, their results would be withheld by respective schools until clearing their fee arrears.
And consequently, with effect from next year, the government will extend the exam fee waiver for private school students for their KCPE and KCSE exams.
President Kenyatta argued that it was foolhardy to expect to raise education standards in the country, while a section of learners was being left out by denying them the right to sit the examinations after years of labor.
The government continues to allocate sufficient resources to the management of public schools in Kenya. The allocation for free-day secondary funding in the financial year 2016-2017 is Kenya shillings 29 billion.
But President Kenyatta's biggest legacy in the education sector, beyond the connection of public schools with electricity and increasing the education sector capitation, was the curriculum reforms he introduced in his second term. With the 844 system declared defective, President Kenyatta has been at the forefront of pushing for curriculum reforms through the competence-based curriculum, CBC, expected to empower learners wholesomely.
That to be architects of our destiny, we must plan for it. Given that the challenges of our times cause us to respond using our education system, we can only succeed through designing and implementing a fit-for-purpose education system.
And while the implementation of a new curriculum has faced some headwinds, which include resistance from a section of education stakeholders, confusion over the placement of junior secondary schools and the capacity of schools, the construction of about 10,000 classrooms is on course, with President Kenyatta having directed Treasury to make available 8.1 billion shillings to go towards the same costs.
To rationalize all programs and courses offered in our universities, to ensure that they are adequately prepared for the admission of the first competency-based curriculum cohort in the year 2029, and 8, to work with all stakeholders in the sector and government ministries to ensure that the competency-based curriculum reforms are smooth and systematically rolled out at all levels of education.
CBC is not examination oriented. You are creating a holistic child, each of whom is important, including your own.
Following the contested 2017 general election, President Uhuru Kenyatta reached out to Raila Odinga, and after months of talks, the two emerged from Harambee House to shake hands in what is now famously called the handshake.
We have had the opportunity for extensive discussions on matters Kenya, and we have come to a common understanding, an understanding that this country of Kenya is greater than any one individual.
The two decided to bury the hatchet and try to craft a new political direction for Kenya in what they said was to keep the country safe for future generations.
The time has come for us to confront and resolve our differences. These differences are becoming too entrenched. No two Kenyans agree on the origins of the differences and what they portend. Millions of our children continue to be born and married into these differences.
Elections come and go, but Kenya remains. So as we plan ourselves for the future, our future cannot be dictated by the forthcoming election. Our future must be dictated by the prosperity, stability of our nation and the well-being of our people.
Through a 9-point agenda that birthed the Building Bridges initiative, President Kenyatta and Raila made an attempt to amend some sections of a constitution they both argued were inhibitive or non-responsive to a new day Kenya. The Building Bridges initiative task force went round the country, conducting public hearings that resulted in various constitutional and policy proposals through the famous BBI bill. The bill has since been impugned by the High Court, the Court of Appeal, and the Supreme Court. President Kenyatta and Raila have received international recognition for the selfless act of the handshake, despite their acrimony in the elections that threatened to divide the country. But the working relations with Raila dealt a blow to the unity that had characterized the president and his deputy William Ruto, and even the ruling Jubilee Party. In the end, the president severed ties with the deputy and endorsed Raila Odinga as his successor in the August 9th general election.
Wameamua ya kwamba njia ya kutembea kwa Kenya mpya ni tutembee pamoja.
Pamoja there. That's just giving you a sneak peek into what was happening yesterday there, and just remind you that since the beginning of this week we have been running special pieces, news pieces, just looking back at President Uhuru Kenyatta's legacy projects. We have even talked about matters of infrastructure and such, all available on our website, that is www.kbc.co.ke. Now we cross over to the sporting arena, where Gor Mahia, and I must say is my team, humbled a perennial nemesis AFC Leopards 6-5 on penalties to win the Madaraka Day Cup in a closely contested encounter played at the Nyayo National Stadium. The encounter between the two arch rivals ended in a 1-1 draw in regulation time, and the match was played just over 3 weeks after Kogalo and Ingwe met on May 8th at the Kasarani Stadium in the Football Kenya Federation Premier League match that ended in a 1-1 stalemate. Now, it was the 95th meeting between the two sides, AFC Leopards having not beaten Kogalo in the last 6 years. Gor Mahia walked away with 1 million shillings, while Ingwe pocketed 500,000 shillings. Do we say, it's a slogan we used to have, and I'm sure it's still there for anyone who enjoys watching this particular local football games, especially when you go to the stadium, the euphoria, it is ecstatic. When Gor Mahia is playing AFC Leopards, well, that's a moment. We actually refer to it as the Mashemeji Derby. Last I checked, Kogalo Gor Mahia, you know, Viva. $1 million shillings to us there as a team, and 500K to AFC. I don't know if you guys have a local team that you support. Maybe let's start off with Jane. Is there a team that you support?
I'm not gonna declare my stand on that.
Maybe Mike,
because I'm not very big in football, so pass.
I'm going to say it. I'm just going to say I'm AFC all the way.
Pardon?
I'm AFC.
Shemeji. Oh, you're a Shemeji.
I am.
I think we need to replace you guys as Mashemeji. 95 times we have met, and you guys have not been able to beat us in the last 6 years. I mean, we need new Shemejis. I think we are taking up new recruits, or rather new Shemejis there. We are taking applications. Please send in your CV.
Which ones do you want to take? Sofapaka?
Sofapaka or even Tusker FC. But no. Yeah, Tusker is something we can consider. AFC,
need a bit of a challenge.
But you know, the relationship between Gor and AFC is just like quote-unquote blood. Hiyo ni kitu iwezi isha. Shemeji all the way.
I remember when we have the Shemeji Derby and you know, fans all over. The social media is quite rife with so many memes. You'd see AFC Leopards fans going somewhere, ordering for some fish. Then you see Gor Mahia fans going somewhere, ordering for some chicken, and it's just banter left, right. And that's why I say I am happy that we are back where we are in as far as matters of local soccer is concerned, because for a moment there, it gave us some of us, you know, some headaches and anxieties, because if you look at those people who play for these local clubs, they go out of their way to train and be there, you know, juggling work, sometimes school, to play for these teams. But now if the league is in shambles, then they have nothing, nowhere to showcase their skills.
But it goes back to the management as well.
Now the management, now that's the crux of the matter. We're waiting to see if this transition committee is going to help us go back to the glories, the 70s. The 70s and the 80s, where soccer was soccer in Kenya.
All right. Na support Gor Mahia lakini umevaa blue.
Please.
Blue na represent AFC.
Blue is just but a color, my friend. Blue is just but a color. Actually, it does not represent any political affiliations.
Malifadhili yuko, he's very happy.
Blue happens to be a color enjoy. I actually have all those colors in check. It's just that I can't wear all of them here. So today,
it is well, Regina,
is a blue day. But hey, we ain't supporting AFC. Whoosh, no. We are green to the soul.
Hey, Regina,
green to the soul. Green to the soul.
Acha sasa tuangalie magazeti basi. Sindio? All right, so we start off with the Daily Nation. Of course, the front page is all about the Madaraka Day speech, especially so what the president had to say. It has been covered across about 7 pages, just breaking down the president's speech, understanding the different key areas that he pointed out, looking at his scorecard. And of course, people have come out to say so much about that, ranging from the roads, electricity, education, economy, healthcare, debt, among many other issues. That is actually the only thing that has been featured here on the front page of the Daily Nation, as well as the group of individuals who have been described as the undesirables by EACC. EACC issues the list of aspirants with integrity flaws, and now the question is, what's the way forward? To what extent will Chapter 6 of the Constitution on leadership and integrity be implemented, and especially so now that we are gearing for the general election? So I will be giving you these details as we move on with this segment, but first, what does the Star have for us, Mike?
On the front page of the Star, Uhuru silences Ruto in exit Madaraka feat. That's the front page of the Star. Still on the front page, of course, Iria Kidero Waiguru among 241 aspirants EACC once blocked from the polls. More on that later on. Still on the front page, holistic growth. President Uhuru Kenyatta slams CBC critics, saying the curriculum is here to stay. We're going to have a discussion on that later on. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of opinions from either side on that one. Still on the front page of the Star, last but not least, tragedy as mom and two daughters burn in death in Nakuru home. It's very sad, sad. More on that later on. That was the front page of the Star. Doreen?
Oh, the dailies are so brief today. But I mean, it's just obvious we'd expect to have similar stories, given the fact that yesterday was Madaraka Day. And even when you look at the PD this morning, actually, I should say like a bigger chunk is just cut out on what happened yesterday from the president just reviewing his legacy, what he's been able to achieve in this 9 years since 2013 up until, you know, when he's set to leave office. Again, clearly also the fact that there was that snub of the president to the deputy president, and just going by the header of what the PD is choosing this morning. In respect to that is that Kenya Kwanza leaders now rail at Uhuru for skipping Ruto, saying that actually accusing the president of using the Madaraka Day celebrations to humiliate the deputy president, goes even to further say the fact that we had that is the Sierra Leone president, Bada Bio, who even acknowledged the deputy president, but was just so sad and bad and humiliating for the president not to acknowledge his second in command. We also have the story of what is happening in Kisii County, where aspirants are now told to shun roadside rallies, saying that this rallies along the roads lead to congestion and obviously traffic snarl-up. The story also concerning EACC, where they now demand that 241 candidates be barred from August elections, and obviously those names have been written down there, the names of all these aspirants ranging from governors to members of parliament, of course governors both sitting as well as former, who are vying for various seats, like I said, members of parliament, MCAs, senators, just clearly forming the list of this 241 that EACC now seeks IEBC to bar them from the August general elections, obviously citing integrity issues. Again, like I talked about, the fact that Madaraka Day celebrations, again, obviously dominating the bigger chunk of this paper, where healthcare topped Jubilee scorecard. And lastly, there is what the Ministry of Health is now saying in respect to matters tobacco, and whether this is even as the world marked the World No Tobacco Day in Tuesday, and now just going by the recent findings shows that youth stop tobacco abuse list. This is what a recent study is showing. Just saying that the ministry now says that 1 out of 10 adult Kenyans use nicotine products. And again, when we get the details, I'll just be telling you perhaps what the ministry is trying to do to ensure that they curb the menace that is tobacco in the country. Also looking at the fact that not just the youth who might be topping the list, but also part of what is coming out is that this also goes down to children as young as 6, 7, and even 8 years who are now engaging in tobacco abuse. Regina.
Sneak peek of the front page of the Standard reads similar to the rest that you guys have. Just going back to what happened yesterday, just looking at President Uhuru Kenyatta's legacy there, the outlined projects and achievements that he highlighted. And on top of that, he talked about 11,000 kilometers of roads that have been built, tarmac roads, and completion of around 8,000 kilometers in second term, and over 6,600 kilometers are still ongoing. Some of the other projects that or other achievements is that now 13 million Kenyans are connected to clean water. And in 9 years, we have moved from being the 12th largest economy in Africa to the 6th largest and still growing. And even here, when President Uhuru Kenyatta was talking about where we at as a country, he went further to highlight that, in as much as we have a high debt burden, it has helped us to move forward. According to the central bank, statistics indicate that 8.4 trillion shillings is the weight of Kenya's debt burden as we speak. So it's just about looking at what was happening yesterday. That's what we have on the front page in this particular daily. And the headline goes, "This is my legacy." And that is President Kenyatta there uses the final National Day to list his administration achievements. Then also we saw some politics play out yesterday. Now Ruto and Uhuru had somewhat of a cold war playing out in the public during that particular day. Allow me to just but quote what the critics noticed in that particular situation is that when he said yesterday the president's actions told of a man who was keen on avoiding a repeat embarrassments. Now, in attendance, we had President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa, Sahel Work Zedwe of Ethiopia, and Salva Kiir of South Sudan. Now, during this during the service, it's just like looking at what has been happening. The discord between Uhuru and Ruto has been playing out, especially after the barrier of Kibaki there, as well as during the national prayer breakfast, where the two leaders did not share a table. Now, yesterday, President Uhuru Kenyatta used that opportunity to detail his administration's achievements, and at the same time snub his deputy William Ruto, and went over to even campaign for his preferred candidate. What was keen to those who were there, see physically, to witness, and also the media houses that were broadcasting live, is that Ruto arrived minutes before his boss and was denied a chance to address the public and left out of the event lineup. Now, traditionally during these ceremonies, we have the president, the deputy president, and other dignitaries actually take to the podium and address the public, but this did not happen. And like in the 9 years past, contrary to the tradition, is that President Uhuru Kenyatta exposed a climax in what has been a cold relationship between the duo after he breached the Madaraka Day traditional protocol by allowing visiting Sierra Leone head of state Julius Maada Bio to give his speech. That was quite an anticipated move. And Mr. Kenyatta also commanded the events program soon after he was awarded the state honors to outstanding citizens. Now, I'm sure in the course of this week, we are going to be looking at the implications of this. So I had just started off to highlight where the tiffs began. We started off with Kibaki's burial, and also we saw the national prayer breakfast, and this was actually done in attendance of other dignitaries drawn from South Africa, Ethiopia, and Salva Kiir over the last few months. So what was happening yesterday, there was a clear indication that the rift between the two gentlemen has widened with 68 days to the August 9th polls. Further details are still available on our website in regard to what transpired yesterday. But for now, we take a quick breather. We'll be back with more from the dailies.
nataka ukumbuke mimi ni mamako, nakupenda na nakujali.
Hivi vitu vimeletwa hapa na Kate na mimi nikamrudisha navyo.
Nikombe mara ngapi kwamba mimi si mtoto mdogo tena? Stay away from my son. Wewe ulisema utaki mambo yale na familia yake.
Kusema la kweli hapa unipita mpaka huku kufanya vizuri.
You mean nikienda hiyo sherehe utarudi hapa nyumbani?
Yani this is how you are thanking me, eh? Kweli wewe na Fuda hakuna hata tofauti.
You know how to play your cards? Sema kuchitetea.
What is so big with the word mysterious?
I did tell them. That is a very small one, by the way. Kamene, I usually admire your English. Okay, exposure is a good thing.
Kamene, okay, look at Julia. You see those little colored strings and materials on her hair? Oh, tule tuvitu tuambulange. Now, look at my hair. Do you see such?
Kiswahili gani sasa fala? Ile marimu.
Welcome back. Hashtag is still Good Morning Kenya on Twitter. Official station handle is at KBC Channel 1, at Ray Manyara, at Dorina Range, at I am Mike Gitahi, and at Jane Mboy is how you can also reach us individually across the social media platforms. We now continue with the papers just to give you more details of those stories that we had highlighted for you that have been featured on the front page. Before we get to, further dive into what the dailies have for us in regards to His Excellency's speech, of course, something that also Regina had already started us on. Let me just quickly take you over through this story here that is also on the front page of the Daily Nation concerning the list that EACC issued of aspirants with integrity flaws. I'm not going to mention all the names because there are so many, but in brief, the EACC now wants the electoral agency, IEBC, to not clear at least, they have mentioned 2 presidential aspirants, 1 running mate, over 60 gubernatorial aspirants, 6 Senate aspirants, 9 women rep hopefuls, 58 MPs, and 94 MCA aspirants due to integrity issues that are related to a range of crimes, including corruption, economic crime. We also have impeachment, those that have been charged with conflict of interest, abuse of office, money laundering, conspiracy to commit fraud, economic crime once again, laundering has been mentioned again, the unlawful acquisition of public property, graft again, irregular payments to suppliers, as well as forgery of documents. These are just some of the crimes that these individuals are being accused of, which consequently stains their integrity when it comes to their capacity to take on leadership positions in our country. So you can read more of that. They go on to mention the names and the crimes that are associated to these individuals. Now, coming back to the president's speech yesterday, I'll pick one piece here concerning what His Excellency said in regards to the alarm over the rise in single-parent homes. All right? So he pegged this on the 2019 census, where single-family homes, single-parent homes, had risen to 38% from 25.1% in 2009. And of course, he went on to give a few reasons that were given as per the research and studies that have been done by different entities. Looking at one that was done in 2020, a study by 2 Canadian sociologists who showed that out of every 10 women in Kenya, 6 are likely to be single mothers by the age of 45. By the age of 45, yes. And this has been attributed to the birth of children before marriage and dissolution of marriages as well, consequently leading to women remaining with the children and men going on with their lives. They also blamed this trend on irresponsible fathers and peer pressure. Consequently, why we are seeing more single women led homes. And also, according to the Interreligious Council of Kenya, I'm going to read this as it has been written here. Another reason as to why we are seeing more and more single-parent home is the imbalance in development and more so empowerment. He goes on to say that, I'm quoting this, I'm not saying that it is wrong to empower women, but women being empowered means they can stand on their own and do as they wish. End of quote. He also went on to blame moral degradation on the pandemic, which led to so many teen pregnancies as well. And consequently, by the time these young girls are 45 years of age, at least 6 in every 10 of them will be a single parent. And this, of course, is a threat to the most vulnerable and a precious member of our society, as said by our president, our children. I don't know what you guys think about this.
I do not know why that empowerment issue always keeps coming out. I mean, for a
contrary to tradition, I mean, is what has been indicated.
Just away from the fact that that's the Religious Council that talked about empowerment, was it?
The Interreligious Council, yes, of Kenya.
So aside from the religious body, so to speak, talking about empowerment, it has actually been a conversation amongst quite a majority of Kenyans, should I say, or even just quite amongst a majority of people, that empowerment of women is what is leading to that. And I can't reconcile that. Much as it's contrary to tradition, I just cannot reconcile how empowerment could be leading to this. I don't know. I just can't.
You know, what I find funny... Okay, here's the situation. A few years ago, we were talking about
Mike,
empowerment.
sorry to butt in. I just remember that we had this convo. Was it last Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were having this discussion with Doreen last Thursday, actually, after the show, about empowerment and all that. And it's quite interesting that, you know, a few years ago, we were talking about empowering the woman means empowering the nation. Mm-hmm. But now, you know, the tables have turned. The conversation is different. They're saying they're too empowered. They're making too many decisions. What does that mean? I don't understand, honestly speaking.
Regina
But the fact of the matter still remains there are more women-led single-parent homes than men-led single-parent homes.
But honestly speaking, I think it's not really about empowerment. I just think it's more about the morally, you know, it's a moral issue. It's more or less about, you know, are you cohabitating too early? Are you ready for this relationship? Are you ready to start a family? It's not really about empowerment. Empowerment means you're making better decisions because, you know, you're not tethered to someone. So the empowerment issue is something that to debate about.
It's Regina's face for me. It
is. No. But also looking at the fact that there's so many young girls who are having children at a very early age, and again, the fact that they're not married, which also lead to more single-parent homes. Regina, nimekurushia microphone.
You know, I want to bring out 2 aspects: enculturation and exposure over time. So, all of us here, we are like maybe 2nd generation or 3rd generation in our family lineage. And growing up, you're told that a morally upright woman is to get married, then have children, right? And that even when things go wrong, go onto your knees and pray for your husband, right? Yeah. Affirmative action came into play, and a majority of us have gone to school. So even a majority of women right now are working, right? So we have found out that if we work hard, we can actually make something. It doesn't mean that relationships don't work, but a woman at that point will be balancing her profession as well as balancing her home, because women are custodians of the home. Fine. Something goes wrong. Look at what happened. No one had anticipated with the COVID pandemic. The statistics already indicated that we have lost, a majority of Kenyans have lost their jobs. In homes where people have lost their jobs, there's been a push and pull in as far as matters of finances are concerned. Now let's come back to the moral issue that Mike has thrown their spanner into the works. On issues of morality, over years, over time, the society, being patrilineal and patriarchal for that matter, has always looked down upon a woman, that a woman is only to be seen and not heard. But with the exposure that came with education and empowerment, so to speak, that we can now speak, that there's an avenue for a woman to come out and say, you know what, you're not going to be hitting me every day, or I do not like the way you treat me, or, you know, there is that platform. So women are, it's easier now for women to actually take a stand for their beliefs. And I don't like the way we put it, like now we have single mothers all over left, right, and center. No, it's not because women, I heard someone actually say it's because women have become empowered, they have become stubborn, they are no longer submissive. And whenever I hear these three words, lack of submission, I want to take them back to the good book, and that's the Bible, which I firmly believe in. We always talk about women and submission, that wife should submit to the husband. I feel as if I'm preaching. But rarely do we read the chapter, paragraph after. And it says, the husband shall love the wife as Christ loved the church.
It's actually before.
Let's define how Christ loved the church. And what is love in the good book? Love is patient, love is kind, and such. But what we fail to understand is that submission can only occur in love, not out of it. Anyway, now to bring this conversation to a close, now that you've made me do a small sum, it's not about empowerment. It's that now the exposure over time that women can actually stand up for what they believe is right is rubbing a section of society wrong. And that's why women have been demonized for taking a stand in things that are, you know, close to their heart. And we're going to see this for a while, because we're already having campaigns now, oh, the boy child has been left behind, oh, la, 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 la. But I want to take you back to also history and a bit of biology. We are all familiar with the natural law of selection.
Yes.
Right? Such that I remember in my biology we're told the reason why the giraffe's neck is as long as is, it's because it eats from the top of the tree. Yeah? So over years, you know, as natural selection happens, those that cannot reach to the top of the tree, they die off. So women have been at the bottom, and circumstances have pushed them at the top. You're not going to see women take a back seat, not in this lifetime.
Survival
anyway.
For the fittest.
Yes. And so also, the men have to also come together, coalesce together, and support the boy child, because he's also suffering.
You know, exactly. I'm so happy that you just said that, because, you know, it is a Thursday, and part of the trending topics is Johnny Depp won the defamation case against Amber Heard. And just think about it from this perspective. Happily, you know, we're all in agreement. It's not about the empowerment issue, you know. And, you know, on the moral side of it, there's so many things to look at, and it's not just the women who are suffering. It is also the men, because, you know, statistics are saying, you know, the single households, the single parent households are mostly, you know, women-led. But also, there's the other side of the coin where men are suffering in silence because they are men.
And, you know, this whole conversation can just spiral and spiral and spiral. And so many factors come into play. But we're also living in a time where, even according to the laws of the land, when a couple separates, who is the default caregiver of these children?
Exactly.
It is the mother until they are 18. Unless it is proven that this mother does not have the capacity and capability to raise these children, that is when the father comes into play. And this is also one of the reasons as to why we're having so many women-led single-parent homes.
Yeah.
Even the law already just says, mtoto achiwe mamake. Baba enda, tafuta kinyo tafanya. You move on with your life. And that's why I think empowerment becomes such a sensitive issue, because on one side, women are complaining, and end up moving on with his life. I have to figure things out for myself, and I'll do that by all means. All right? And then when you figure things out by all means, then the other partner starts complaining, oh, she was given this and this, she had an added advantage over me and this. And that's why empowerment becomes so diluted and misrepresented.
Well, empowerment. Yesterday I had a conversation, a very interesting conversation with a gentleman who was telling me, you know what, I can never raise my children on remote control. And it hit me that that's a person who wants to be present in their children's lives. You know, but if we look at the statistics, when you talk about single parent led
homes,
led homes, it also falls onto the other side, because we are all going through this phase of life. There's no manual as to how we live, and you'll find that there are single dads out there who are playing the role of being the father figure and also to nurture their children. So it is a struggle. So for me, congratulations to those who are raising their children single-handedly, whether by design or default. Raising that little human takes a superhero kind of attitude. So
it can never be 50-50. It's supposed to be 100-100.
Yes. You can imagine those women who are mothers, then we live in neighborhoods and there's some scream somewhere. So technically, it's either you fight or take flight, right?
Or freeze.
Or freeze. So when that happens, they go into super mode. They're scared. They don't know what's going on. There's nothing they can do in terms of physical, but they're up trying to find out what is happening, you know? Now, it's, I don't know. Congratulations to those who are doing it. Let's not demonize them or judge them for that matter.
Mother or father, by the way, you are a parent at the end of the day.
You're raising a little human, so, or little humans, for that matter.
Let me just say this. Now, since we are sort of like on that craze of empowerment, much as we've agreed it's not the issue, there could be underlying factors. But again, also there's been that conversation of the fact that much as we are empowering women, is it at the expense of men? Because again, you would sit with quite a number of good men and they will tell you, or a number of men, so to speak, and they will tell you they can't match up now to the woman that is as is right now. Given the fact that, as you've mentioned, education, women are more exposed right now. They're even getting and taking position of leadership. When you look at the men right now, they can't match up to that, because when you look at the women of today, they can practically do everything. If it's pay rent, they can. If it's buying things in the house, they can. They sort of can do what was quote unquote traditionally men's roles. So when these two come together in form of, you know, the union, marriage, or that solid relationship, then it brings or it breeds that form of misunderstanding, because they can't match to that. So then just pause. They can't match to that, because they can actually do everything. So now the question has become, is it now that roles are being reversed?
No. You know, Doreen, Regina, even by virtue of just being a man and a woman, one thing that people always want to just force is that man and woman are equal.
But they're not.
And that's a fact.
And they
Even
can never
look at the brain of a man and a woman, scientifically speaking, men have a bigger brain than women. What role, does empowerment have any role there? Physically speaking, look at a man and a woman. We can never be equal. It's about elevating each other, not at the expense of the other person, to complement each other.
You know, now what I was saying is the fact that when you look at how these two things are, is the question of, good men would say women now want to be equal to men, and we are now agreeing that men and women can never be equal in whatever way. They can never. So men will tell you that women now want to be equal to us because they want to do what we can do. They want to be the ones providing, so to speak. They want to be the one making the decisions. When this was, quote unquote, if I could say, roles that were men's. So men will tell you women want to be the same as us, and we can never be equal.
Now that's the misrepresentation that is there about empowerment.
I feel as if I need to, like, yes. Well, when it comes to equality, we cannot be equal. Male, female, we can't be equal. And even when we're talking about affirmative action, it's not about being equal. It's about creating a platform where all genders can get equal opportunities. If you qualify to be an engineer, let not your sex cut you off. That is it. It's about creating a platform where opportunities are up for the picking from either gender. Now let's come up to the relationship setup. In as much as I may have a PhD, I may earn amount X, Y, Z. Inherently as it is, there's no woman who doesn't need a man. That's the truth. Because in as much as these men are saying now, oh, women, what they want to do our roles, women don't want to do those roles, but they find themselves doing those roles because of the situation they find themselves in. But you as a man, if you put your best foot forward, yes, and in as much as your person is earning more than you, I'm sure there's something that you do better than her. Complement each other and elevate each other. It's not about this person doing better than the other. It's about where are you going? Is the vision solid? Is a vision solid? It's not about, you're not in competition. A relationship should not be a competition, actually. Who are you competing with?
Each other.
It's teamwork. So when men say, oh, women want to do, women want to do X, Y, Z, what are you doing? What are you doing to show that woman that she doesn't have to? She doesn't have to, that she can do other things. You know, that conversation, that is a defeatist for me, and this is entirely my opinion. It is a defeatist attitude to try and bring down or demonize a woman's profession, education,
achievements.
And achievements. Don't demonize them. You're supposed to be proud that the person you're with.
I don't have much to say because, the thing is, I'm very, very happy that, I'm in the company of enlightened women. So I don't have really much to say, honestly, in response to that. Even with regard to, because I'm a boy child, because I think you've done that for me very, very eloquently. So, yes.
Let the men be leaders. Let the man up. Let the man up.
And also, as we bring this to a close, Ray, yes. This whole front seat that we have had when it comes to Johnny Depp and Amber Heard has changed perceptions around who can be the victim, or who is the victim, not can be, who is the victim. And you cannot say it's about empowerment in such a situation, because that has no effect there. It's about the individuals, who they are, and what has happened. Nothing to do with their gender.
Yes.
If a man leads, who are you to ngangana with them leading?
I would say also empower the boy as much as we are doing the girls. Let's not leave them behind.
Let it be.
But
there is something beautiful about a woman who wants a man but doesn't need them. It's a high time we looked at that. Like, we want, but we don't need.
For this and more, follow hashtag Regina Talks on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram all day, every day. But we have to take a very quick breather. We have so much lined up for you here on Good Morning Kenya. Keep checking in. Use the hashtag Good Morning Kenya on Twitter. Our official station handle is at KBC Channel 1. We have some dope interviews coming up with at I am Mike Gitahi and Adorina Rangi. So shoot through your questions, your requests. We'll be getting to them in just a bit. For now, a quick breather. We'll be right back.
better to cry, or your heart will suffocate and you'll waste good wine.
Rodon left you with Callie, and it broke your heart. You're in love with her, right?
I love...
Say no more.
Hey! Father, he would never collude with the Celestials. Please, don't get angry.
Whatever it takes to... defeat the Celestials.
But you betrayed our kingdom and colluded with Skywall. For the sake of some disciples? Is it death you seek?
都是假象。
Nanyuki, are you ready? Saturday Night Show SNS coming your way live from AJ's The Ranch in Nanyuki this coming Saturday, 4th of June 2022 from 4 p.m. up till late. Country meets the 80s and 90s. Mutajibamba, Nyama Choma, great music by DJ Stano on the Wheels of Steel. Na pia mimi John Karani, JK, live on location with Saturday Night Show. We gonna make it a night to remember. Kosa Uche.
I'll do my best to talk to her. Can you forgive me? You don't have to ask for forgiveness. There's no one to blame here but your father.
Narok County generates huge revenue from the world-famous Masai Mara National Reserve and the agricultural sector. Two candidates, Moitalel Olekenta and Patrick Olentutu, are gearing up for the next governor of this county. What is their agenda for Narok? Don't miss the Narok County gubernatorial debate this Thursday, 2nd of June from Masai Mara University, exclusively on KBC Channel 1 from 9:50 p.m.
Welcome back to Good Morning Kenya, and as promised, nothing but entertainment. Our first interview, I think, to me, is the first Kenyan superstar. Nakwambia hii catchphrase yake imeenda kila mahali, hadi football league huko Europa. Nakwambia watu wanasema wako wapi? Wako freshi barida. Steve Simple Boy. Karibu kwenye Good Morning Kenya.
Mapo freshi.
Freshi?
Barida. Hakuna tatizo.
Kabla tuende mbali, nataka tuongee about your music journey, vile uliingia music and all that, but freshi barida, what does it mean?
Okay, freshi barida ni salamu. Ni salamu kama kusema how are you? Fine.
Ni kama vile mimi naweza sema safi. Lakini sasa niseme niko freshi barida.
Uko freshi barida.
Lakini okay, mimi najua freshi, lakini barida hiyo lita.
Barida ni mambo iko sawa, iko mambo iko sawa. Hakuna tatizo.
Safi kabisa. Okay, sasa acha tuongee about vile uliingia sasa into music. Steve unajua, even from Steven. Simple Boy. Vile unapenda kusema ni kwa sababu upendi maneno mengi.
Mimi niko simple tu.
Uko simple tu. Now music, nani alikuintroduce now into the music industry?
Okay, music mimi kwangu muziki nilianza kitambo nilikuwa chekechea. So hapo nikangana. At long nights nikaenda Ibro TV. So Ibro TV hapo tutoka Chipukizi akaninua.
Kwa hivyo unaweza sema ni Chipukizi ndio alikupatia hiyo platform ya kwanza kuingia sasa music. Na hata nikuulize, ulikuwa na expect success?
siku expect. Unajua Mungu kuna mambo zake. Unazaratia kwamba hii kitu ikaipoa, kumbe hii kitu unadharau na Mungu anainua.
Vile ulianza, expectation yako kwa music ilikuwa gani?
Experience yangu ilikuwa nataka yani nipase ujumbe kwa dunia mzima. Kama kusikia ngoma yangu ya kwanza vijana tuachie midarati. So ilikuwa naimiza vijana at least waache hizi vitu. Wachape kazi.
Aza nikwambia hiyo ngoma Birthday is one of my favorite yako. Inakuwa inanifurahisha kwa sababu ni ngoma iko na message na inainua vijana. Tunazichapa kidogo miadarati.
Tucheze.
Tuichape tafadhali kidogo. Kamera yetu ndio ila.
Sawa. Vijana tuache miadarati. Nasema tuache miadarati. 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 Unapata vijana wameketi tu wanavuta miadarati, hawajali, wanapoteza wakati, hawana habari. Ukivuta miadarati inaribu akili, inaribu paka mwili, wametuli wamebaki jablash, kushoto na kulia maze wanalia, hakuna kazi, wapate kazi, waishi vizuri, waishi masaa mazuri, mambo iwe pua yani iwe safi, bila wasi. Vijana tuache miadarati. Nasema tuache miadarati. Vijana tuache miadarati. Nasema tuache
hapo iko fresh barida au vipi?
Iko fresh barida.
Safi kabisa. Now kuna challenge gani ulipata? Changamoto gani ulipata ukianza sasa industry sasa after success ya miadarati?
After kutoa miadarati unajua kuna maneno mengi ilitokea. Watu wengi walisema mimi si msanii, mimi ni comedian. Wengine wanasema nabahatisha. But ya Mungu ni mengi.
Na face aje hiyo criticism ya hao watu wanakuambia hivyo sasa?
Nilivumilia tu. Wakati watu wanaongea, mimi nachapa kazi. So nikatoa ngoma kadhaa kama tuheshimu ndoa, mapenzi ya pesa, glory na mengine mengi.
Na umepata opportunity ya kufanya collab na watu wengi? For instance, kulikuwa pia na Vivian.
Vivian pia alikuwa.
Hebu tuambie hiyo working relationship ilikuwa aje?
Ilikuwa poa. Unajua okay, Vivian ni kichuna.
Ngoja hiyo inamaanisha nini?
Okay, kichuna inamaanisha binti. So Vivian akanitafuta akasema Simba boy, uko busy ama uko busy? Mimi siko busy. Nitakuja hapo kwa tuongee. Vivian akasema yako na ngoma kama hii inafaa niingie ndani. So mimi nikaandika mistari, tukaingia studio. Ngoma ikakuwa shega.
Na acha nikuulize, kulikuwa na story bado around your time mlikuwa mnafanya video na Vivian. Kulikuwa na watu wanajaribu kutake advantage of you.
Okay, unajua kwa hii dunia kuna wale wa ukweli na kuna wale watapeli. Unajua pia kujua mkweli na mtapeli ni wangu. So paka wapatie challenge. So mimi nikasema kama kuna mtu anataka kusaidia anisaidie na roho moja, sasa kunyanyasa.
Na I think kwa sababu wewe ni brand kubwa sana. Unapitia hiyo sana ama unaona aje? Kuna umeweza kuchambua sasa huyu anataka mazuri na mimi ama huyu kuna maneno yake?
Kuna anataka mazuri.
Na unaweza kuwagundua aje?
Unagundua kama mtu ako serious. Anakupigia simu, mkutane mahali fulani tuongee. Kama ni besame inaweza, tutasema inaweza. Kama iwezi, waje kwa hivyo.
Kwa hivyo acha nikuulize, unaona kama kukua celebrity sasa imekuwa imefanya life ikakuwa bit more difficult ama more easy? Unaweza sema aje?
Okay, kwangu unajua mimi for long mimi ni star. But siwezi dharau mtu. Mimi naongea na kila mtu. So okay, nazongea na kila mtu, lakini pia kwa biashara niko tofauti.
Kasa hizi na understand uko na management.
Yeah, niko na management. So wanani guide kwa kila kitu.
So life in terms of ukiweka ukilinganisha life bila management and with management, imekuwa rahisi, imekuwa ngumu?
Okay. Wanasema unajua kwa kila kitu ukitaka kufika mbali mpaka usikane na mtu. Uzifanya kazi peke yako. So mimi niko na management wanani guide.
Sasa acha turudi nyuma kidogo in terms of now familia. Nao wanakuona kwa TV kila siku. Mtandao ndo ule Steve Simple Boy.
Steve Simple Boy.
Fresh barida ndio hizo mahudi ndi zinauzwa. Kuna watu wanakuja kusumbua ama bado anakuchukulia kama ule Simple Boy.
Mimi ni ule sibadilika. Unajua usta si kitu. Usta ni ustani ya dunia, lakini nikiwa peke yangu juu tuko watu wawili, kuna Steve Simple Boy na Steven Lutieno. So nikiwa kwa nyuma mimi ni Steven Lutieno. Na nikiwa kwa dunia mimi ni Steve Simple Boy.
Okay, kwa stage sasa ama kwa TV Simple Boy.
Kwa nyuma ni Steven Lutieno.
Na watu wengi wanakuwa nauliza, I'm glad that you said that, kwa sababu watu wengi wanakuwa wanasema it's like ulitengeneza character. Ya Simple Boy ni character unacheza. Unaona kama ni ukweli ama you just being yourself?
Mimi ni simple. Hakuna madudi na kanga ati umepata ati nimeshag wala nimepaka dai. Mimi ni simple tu.
Vile uko,
vile niko na vile utanipata.
Ndio vile tutakupata hata ukiwa Steven. Safi kabisa, fresh barida. Now hizi maneno za kutengeneza catchphrase. Fresh barida si ya kwanza.
Fresh barida si ya kwanza. Kulikuwa ndio manake.
Ndio manake kila ulitengeneza ndio manake. Kila mtu hata nilikuwa natembea nikifika kazini. Sema habari, nasikia ndio manake shanga. Unajua ilikuwa kila mahali. Hizi catchphrase unazitengeneza aje? Okay,
unajua mimi sana napenda msamiati kwa wingi. Unajua kuna lengo lingine nikisema mtasema Steve Boy alisema ama alisema nini ama ni sheng. Hapana, si sheng. Mimi sipendi sheng. Mimi naongea ile Kiswahili sanifu. Kama kwa mfano nikisema ngwere. Unajua maana ngwere?
Labda unielimishe kwanza.
Ngwere inamaanisha hakuna shida.
Simple Boy.
Na Bugudha? Bugudha pia unajua? Bugudha.
Wewe ndio uliniambia hiyo. Yeye niliona kwa mtandao hiyo.
Bugudha hakuna shida pia.
Hakuna shida. Ni kama tu fresh barida.
Fresh barida ni salamu.
Ni salamu. Kama nisiseme niko fresh barida?
Sema mambo.
Niko fresh barida. Kwa hivyo ni response. Nimekupata sasa. Kwa hivyo watu wala wanatumia fresh barida vibaya huko nyumbani, umeelimishwa hapa leo na Simple Boy. Kuna new catchphrase yenye ina come through?
Ziko mingi.
Watu wanasema ni genius kwa sababu unajua unazitengeneza na zina sell.
Okay, no, mimi kwa nasema ni neema. Ni neema ambayo Mungu amenipatia. Ni neema. Unajua si rahisi msanii aseme kitu na ikubalike. So kwangu mimi nasema ni neema kutoka kwa Mwenyezi Mungu.
Okay, now in terms of music, next up kuna gani? Kwa sababu tulikuwa tunaongea hapa, tulikuwa tunaangalia music video. Tulikuwa tunaongelea about Alfajiri. Kusema maybe in the works. Kuna any new collab in the works?
Yes, nakwam.
Unaweza tuambia nani?
Ayu ni siri.
Kwa nini sitaongea sasa?
Ni sinema mimi nataka ikweni surprise.
Kwa hivyo ni jina kubwa hiyo.
Ni jina kubwa.
Ukiona hivyo. Ni jina kubwa kuliko Simple Boy kweli?
Ni jina kubwa.
Unajua umevuka boda.
Ile jina kubwa. So mimi nasema mafans watarajie surprise kibao.
Now, Mihadarati was such a nice song. Iko na positive message. This is an election year. kuna message gani yenye unaweza patia vijana in terms of maintaining peace na kuwa simple as a simple boy?
Okay, vijana wasipigane, wakiwa watulivu. Tuchague ule kiongozi ambaye atajali maslahi ya wananchi. Unaona, kama unaona huyu kiongozi ni bora, basi mchague. Unaona, si mambo kuleta vurugu kila wakati.
Kuna yenye sita kuuliza kwa sasa in terms of personal relationships, and I'm sure you understand what I mean.
I mean,
yes, kuuliza kwa sasa kwa sababu unajua I feel like a lot of people wanakuwa gonna cling on to celebritydom, wanataka kudandia na hiyo ni handle aje?
Okay, for long as unajua sahi mambo na uhusiano sahi ni imekuwa ni changamoto. Unajua unaweza pata binti na kudanganya ako mwaminifu, kumbe ako na mtu. So hapo ndo challenge, lakini nama Mungu atanipatia mke mwema.
Inshallah. Safi simple boy, lakini bado in the same note in terms of relationships, nilisikia kwa mtandao wewe mwenyewe ulisema uko na stand in terms of waiting. Ni advice gani unaweza patiana in terms of kwa nini ulichagua hiyo stance? Kwa sababu vijana wengi si ati wanangoja. Ni kwa nini wewe ulichagua hiyo stance yako ukasema nitangoja kabla okay, iko hivi, unajua okay, sasa unajua watu vijana wengi ama wasichana wengi wanaingia kwa uhusiano bila kujua. Unapata mtu ameingia kwa ndoa after miezi 2 wameachana. Sababu gani? Sababu hawakujua mtu anakaje, unaona? Unaona, labda huyu mtu akona hasira ama mtu ataki hasira, unaona? So mjuane. Mimi na advice kwamba hata ikiwa ni miaka 2 jua mtu kwanza, hata mkiingia kwa ndoa hakuna tatizo. Kwanza mjuane kabisa.
Mjuane, hata mkiingia kwa ndoa basi mambo inakuwa fresh.
Mambo inakuwa fresh barida. Safi kabisa. Asante sana Steve Simple Boy kwa come through kwa Good Morning Kenya. Na kabla uende, nataka unifunze hiyo fresh barida dance.
Noma.
So utanifunza? Ndio hata mimi maybe ndabahatika hata mimi nikuwe celeb huko mtandao. How vipi? Fresh barida. Asante sana. That was Steve Simple Boy. Unaweza mpata kwa social media platforms zake @Steve Simple Boy. Vile amesema a lot of nice collabs na come through. We'll be back after this.
Welcome back to the program. This is still Good Morning Kenya. Entertainment Thursday is what we are having for you this Thursday morning. Na tunaendelea na the conversations in studio, this Thursday morning. We now want to shift just from music to something a bit different. I'm so sure we are all familiar with the person that is Paddy, David Omondi, aka Paddy. I even got your ID names.
Serious? When Mzuru. What up is your boy Paddy huko ndani ya chumbani yake. Paddy kize la modu leo hii ku KBC.
Ukali.
Well done. Now matches Titorin. Toka hapa.
Unajua na feel attacked because I'm actually from that part of the country.
Why?
Na feel kama ni attack.
Boy ndum.
Iko.
Thank you.
All right. I just want us to get to this conversation. Tutakuja kwa knowing Paddy a bit tukimalizia, but let's focus on this peace sprint. I mean, it's the election period, the election season. Tunaona watu wengi wakikuja, particularly kwanza artists, just trying to preach the message of peace. No one wants us to go back to where we were 2007, 2008. Na pia ukiona watu wengi wanaongea about peace is the fact that we don't want to go back to where we were. But just from the onset, Peace Print, ilianzia wapi, concept idea behind this?
Peace Print ni kitu tu sisi wote tuko familia nayo. We all want peace. We've all experienced peace, and we've all also experienced the opposite of it.
Yeah.
So siwezi nikasema I invented peace.
Clearly.
But there's this lady mwenye namtambua sana. She's called Doreen tu kama wewe. I don't know what's with the Doreens.
Na Amani.
Na Amani.
Tu anapenda Amani.
Yes. Doreen called me, alikuwa nataka niende nika MC kwa an event yenye alikuwa na they had a launch. And tukiongea we were like, I think we can do better than just a one day thing. We can do zaidi ya this, so why can't we just do peace? And instead of just us just talking about peace, let's have something to symbolize kabisa yenye itakuwa patched kwa akili ya watu kila mahali penye watu wanaenda. And we thought about us walking, and we were like, we want to do a peace walk. And the meaning of Peace Print inamaanisha pali popote penye unatoka, kila mtu toka kule anatoka kama ameacha kama kuko peaceful.
Yeah.
Na ukienda huko kwingine wacha pia kukiwa peaceful, kukiwa na peace, kukiwa na amani. So that means nyayo yako kule unatoka kama ni white, fika hapo wacha kama pia ni white. You understand? That's the meaning of Peace Print. Because most of us, you see, sisi uchochwa. Hakuna mtoto mwenye ikifika time election, trust you me, peace uharibika just out of kuchochwa.
Hapo tu ndio all of a sudden we now realize we are coming from different tribes.
That's the thing. And all these people utapata mtu ametoka kama ametandika kitanda yake, ameacha pilo 7, 8. Anajua vizuri he or she is coming back kulala kwa hiyo kitanda. Understand?
Yeah.
Lakini nakuja kwako na anaacha kama ameacha kama umechoma kwa mwenzako, mwingine anakuja anachoma kwako, yeye anaenda atalala vizuri. You understand? So that's the meaning. It's not just about mwananchi wa kawaida. We're talking about peace. About peace to the politicians, to our religious leaders. We are talking about peace pia kwa the NGOs, my companies, because all of us are affected. Sio tu ati ghettos peke yake vile watu wanafikiria. All of us are affected. That's the thing.
All right. So basically, I mean, just borrowing from what unasema, clearly it is just message of peace across board. So pia ukiangalia from the fact that you wanted to do this, is it also simply because of what happened in this country back then, and we are just few months to the elections, and you feel the need of, by the way, given my position even in society, because you're influential, you know, in your capacity. So looking at that, is it part of also what informed you, like, given my position, let me go out there, let me use my status to preach this message of peace?
Doreen, I want to tell you something. Before even meeting Doreen, nilikuwa approached. Sikuwahi kujua kwamba mtu anaweza nataka niingie kwa position ya politician wote kwa hii country. But yes. And people, kuna watu walika tu mahali wakaangalia wakasema, oh, this guy akona following hii kiwango, akona this amount of influence, na watu fulani hivi wakona I think this guy ana fit kukuwa candidate wa hii area. People came to me and people are offering good money for me to
vie for
MCA.
Oh wow.
Yes, I'm telling you that. And for me, nili feel sio kwa ubaya. It's not just about money, but si nachukia politics ama nachukia mwanasiasa, but it's not my thing. I think I can lead better from a genuine position, from a genuine point. Why?
That's like from a neutral.
Yes. After election, the previous year kulikuwa na post-election violence. I was actually affected.
Okay.
In the indirect. I had my guardian mwenye alikuwa my uncle, alikuwa na travel to Kisumu, and alikuwa na lazima pitie Nakuru, alikuwa anatumia this vans, these are Nissans. Walishukishwa na gari yenye ilikuwa mbele yao, watu walikuwa wanakuwa chopped, wengine wanauliwa. You understand? I don't like kwamba naongelea vitu kama hizi, but ni reality.
That's what happened.
It happened.
Yeah.
It happened. And ningemlose inamaanisha pia singekuwa na guardian, and by then but ndio nilikuwa nimemaliza tu high school. And bado nilikuwa young huku nje. Asi hiyo peke yake, I had a number of people wenye nili happen kukua kwa an NGO yenye ilikuwa inaongelea about hizo mambo za post election violence. After I saw watu wenye walikuwa raped, watu wenye walibuliwa, wengine walikuwa na very very deep scars, all the way to mpaka akili and emotionally.
And this ulikuwa with your naked eyes.
I saw it, and actually not just seeing it, I felt it. I felt it. Na inanihaunta mpaka saa hizi. It's funny, Doreen, kwamba we have a number of people in this country when are very influential, very influential. Kwa YouTube, I'm lucky, and not just lucky, kwamba niko na 250,000+ of followers. TikTok, the same. Instagram, hivo. But I see a lot of people when you're on a high influence, and I don't see these people talking about peace. I don't see these people trying kuongelesha mwanasiasa direct. I don't see these people hata wakiongelesha Mkenya direct. I see people coming, sio kwa ubaya, hata hapa utagundua ever since hii joto election ianze, I can bet I'm the first person kukuja hapa kama msanii kuongea peace.
Peace, yes. Other things, not quite, but peace, yes.
Yes. I don't know why. And reason why we're doing this, it's not about me. It's not about me. I'm a very simple guy. But influence yenye naweza nikakuwa nayo, if I can talk to up to 1 million people na wakubali, na just the jokes, the comedies yenye nafanya, I think if I can speak out roho yangu in terms of peace na kila kitu, I think this is the right time. I'm calling upon all the artists, all these big companies. We have companies kama gani? For instance, a company kama EPZ. Kukikuwa na noma, you can imagine thousands and thousands of people when wanafanya kazi pale. Companies kama kina Bidco,
ideally jobs will be lost.
You understand? Yes. After this matatus, there kina Ubers and whatever, watu wote, kila mtu atakuwa affected. Our kids will be affected. Elections zinafanyika katikati, kuna ka break, alafu ndio watoto wanarudi shule. Na hata kama kuna break, watoto wetu wako nyumbani. Understand? A lot inafanyika.
Okay, so clearly it's important to have peace in that respect and even beyond.
Very.
Now, umeongelea kuhusu wasanii, and since it's Entertainment Thursday, let's just stick there a bit. Na tunasemanga art, usanii ama usanii ni kio cha jamii.
Yes.
Na pia tuna understand the kind of influence that artists have, and you've talked about the fact that maybe you could have been the first one here sitting on this set that is talking about peace even as you gear up towards election. But looking at the kind of influence that artists have, and you are one among them, why would you, in your perspective, what would you say is the fact that maybe they do not go out there to talk about peace? Because again, tuna wengine wakikuwa approached, wanaimba mpaka kwa rallies, wanatunga nyimbo, but hii aspect ingine which is really very much important, we don't really see so much of that.
Well, let me tell you, Doreen, we all know, ukiona barabara ni kubwa, alafu kingine kembamba, unapitia gani?
Wata hiyo ndogo.
Everybody's going. Saizi nakwambia hakuna MCA wowote, hata wenye sasa hiyo mingi kwa independent wako na kangoma Kenya wametungiwa.
Msanii kuna amekaa tu akaandika.
Wasanii wameconcentrate on these people. Sawa. We are suffering, but we can suffer zaidi kama kuna money. It will be worse. You understand? And another thing is, kuna kale ka life kenye msanii amejiweka. Unapata sometimes hata uwezi maintain bako naangalia zile za wacha niingie kwa hii siasa. Truth be told ni kwamba at some point unapata we don't have that what wako na hiyo power ya love than the love what wako na love ya power than the power of love. Sijui unaelewa.
I get it. It's opposite.
So you see wasanii wengi hata ukiangalia saizi wako kwa debe. Umefika tuka 100,000 subscribers.
In fact, this is the election whereby we are seeing entertainers vying for elective positions and various seats.
Na ni wengi. Na sio mbaya. Sijakata.
Kama mtu ameitwa.
Kama umeitwa. Kuna wasanii wengi wenye tumeona wameingia pale na wametu lead vizuri. Usanii haimaanishi kwamba sasa huwezi lead, huwezi kuwa mbunge mzuri, ama huwezi kuwa MC mzuri, ama huwezi kuwa president mzuri. We've seen kuna presidents wengi. For information, do you know hata president wa Ukraine at some point alikuwa stand-up comedian? That's the thing. So it doesn't mean kwamba you can't lead. You can lead. But let us also consider before you go kule mbele. Angalia zile vitu ndogo. For me nasema hivi. No peace, no election. Kama kuna election, kama insist on election na hakuna amani, that I'll call that thing.
Hakuna haja hiyo election.
Hata kama itafanyika, I won't call it election. Hiyo ni violence ama kitu kingine. So it's high time. I respect this, the other people when wamekuwa kijaribu kuongelea about peace, but I still don't feel like we're doing enough. Kuna watu wameingia hapo for hustle. Kuna watu wameingia tu hapo, mtu atembee kutoka hapa mpaka pale alafu aseme zile za now we want people watusaidie na vitu kama hizo. We really want this, and that's the reason why you see personally it's a sacrifice. It is a sacrifice. It is a sacrifice. There has to be a way, and I'll do something that is abnormal. Na nitaifanya. I'm doing it.
Utaifanya.
That walk.
If you have the will, you know, they say it's if you have the will, then there's a way.
Yes.
Unasema yes, kuna some things that are being done, and just like when we began this conversation, we talked about the truth, and we cannot, just shy away from that fact. It is a fact, it happened, and we always keep going back there so that we can see what we can do differently, isn't it? Now unasema yes, some things are being done, but not enough. I understand there's a work that's going to be happening on the 6th, but before we get to that, ni nini yenye haifanywi enough? Ama in your perspective, what can we do to make it enough, so to speak? Because it's not enough to just keep talking about it. Tunafaa to make some practical steps.
I see people wanapanda malori and they go out there, speakers, and they talk. It worked ages back, but sidhani kama inaingia ile kwa roho ya mtu kabisa.
So sasa tunafaa kufanya more than talk.
If we can do the same thing yenye mwanasiasa anafanya, then I think tutakuwa equal.
Which is?
Mwanasiasa nenda door to door.
Kuomba kura. What are we doing about peace? What are we doing? Just us tukitoka na caravan ama tukitembea kutoka hapa mpaka mahali pale is not enough. Okay.
We want to involve Kenyans and we want to display Kenyans. There is a hashtag yenye saizi nazunguka inaitwa #MyPeacePrint na #PeacePrint. Actually it's #PeacePrint and then MyPeacePrint. The hashtag ni we want millions and millions of Kenyans. Chukua simu yako, weka mbele yako, ongea. Okay? And then just post it na uandike hapo #PeacePrint. Only that. We want Kenyans who are involved. We want to this because you want peace.
Yeah.
But what are you doing about it? You understand? Haujafanya kitu yote about it. You understand? The hashtags za mwanasiasa saizi wowote kwa hii country, wowote mpaka MCA, I'm telling you, zimepita hashtags za peace. We are in a country yenye tumekaa very comfortable tunapigana na Uganda kwa Twitter. Very comfortable. We are in a country yenye kiberiti inaweza trend. Yet peace haijai trend. I'm living in a country yenye avocado inaweza trend. Padi akiongea ugali anaweza trend haraka sana. But I'm saying this, sio mbaya. But we don't have those avocados without peace. We don't have hata padi. Why should I come kwa club? Ni kuje ku-entertain. Nikijua vizuri hata I'll feel safe kutoka kwako mpaka hapo. You understand?
Yeah.
That is why nimejicommit. From saa hizi mpaka after election, anything yenye nitakuwa naweka kwa channels zangu will be peace related. Will be peace related. And si ati kwa sababu na force watu na hiyo, but ni kwa sababu I just want to urge people also wasaidie. Unaelewa? Yes. And that's the reason why I'm targeting entertainers. Understand?
Why entertainers? We all need this space.
It's because we have influence. Now entertainers wanajua vizuri
because of
how
the influence
powerful
they have.
Yes.
And what they can do with their influence.
Look at what they're doing for politics.
Yeah.
Look at what they're doing for politics. Right now, ukienda kwa kampeni yoyote, an artist ndiye amewaka. Hata hiyo podium yenye unaona nani anasimama ni artist ako behind it. That song unaisikia ikiimbwa hapo, an artist, the producer an artist, the suit artist, the designs na kila kitu of everything including those cars when anaendesha, artist, podiums and everything artist. We are influential. These guys wanakuja after us, you understand? That's it when I say peace has to be the first horse. Na nasema kama naangalia kamera. Peace has to be the first horse. Hizo horses zingine zinakuja nyuma. This has to be the first horse.
After peace has been established.
Yes.
All right. Why Nairobi to Nakuru?
Why Nairobi to Nakuru?
This is actually the peace sprint you're now talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
6th of this month.
This is this weekend? Or on Monday?
On Wednesday.
Oh, it's on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Quite a lot to date. Oh, today is 2nd.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Is it really? No.
It's actually Monday. I'm the one who's right.
It's on Monday.
It's on Monday. Yeah.
It's on Monday.
Yeah.
It's on Monday.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's on Monday. Yes. The 6th of this month tunaenda Nakuru. Tunatoka hapa tukienda Nakuru. Okay? Tunaenda mdogo. Na si ati tunatoka kutoka hapa tu mara moja mpaka Nakuru. Okay? We're going, tutakuwa tuna mingle na watu, tutakuwa tuna dine na watu, tukikunywa na watu, tukitembea na watu, and we will be walking with the podium ya mwananchi. Imebrandiwa mwenye nchi. Wewe ni mwenye nchi. And we are also going to be live kwa Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, na TikTok for 8 hours. So we will be walking a minimum of 8 hours, okay, per day. Pali tutalala bado hatujui.
Ni kujitolea.
Tutakula bado hatujui. I'm saying the truth. Kweli usemwe. But we have people wenye tayari wamekubali kuwalk na sisi. Okay? And people like we have Traces of Hope, we have Doc Auto, au pia wamejitolea kutembea na sisi, and we have other people, we have like Kaylan Tours and Travel and Tours. Wamekubali kutembea na sisi. And we're still calling upon Kenyans waweze kutembea na sisi. And it's not just a walk.
How can they do that, by the way?
Number one, we want you wakati tunatembea. Ingia tu kwa mtandao.
Okay.
See what we're doing. Share. Allow Kenyans to understand kwamba kuna watu wame-sacrifice. That's the first thing.
All right.
Ingia. #PeacePrint. Ingia kama pia unaweza ka shoot. Okay? And then number 2, also you can contribute to us. We have a till yenye pia you can contribute to us, because the contribution is not just about us kutembea mpaka kule. I'm sure you
Can you mention the till as we wind down?
The till is 977-147. And also pia tuko na a direct WhatsApp number yenye pia iko. The direct WhatsApp number is 0777 322-001.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm so sure they can be able to get you via those, platforms.
Exactly.
And the numbers, and they can be able to be part of this, initiative.
Yeah.
PeacePrint.
PeacePrint.
All right. A good place to end this conversation, Paddy.
Whoa.
All right, I have been speaking to David Omondi, aka Paddy, of course, talking to us about the initiative PeacePrint and what they are doing, at least, just for the country to understand that it is indeed a time to ensure at all cost we maintain peace. We are not yet done with Good Morning Kenya. Still a lot in store for you after this short breather. Stay with us.
Good.
Yes.
Ukumbuke mimi ni mamako, nakupenda na nakujali.
Hivi vitu vimeletwa hapa na Kate. Na mimi nikamrudisha navyo.
Nikwambia mara ngapi kwamba mimi si mtoto mdogo tena. Stay away from my son. Wewe ulisema utaki mambo ya Lea na familia yake.
Kusema la kweli hapa unipita mpaka hukufanya vizuri.
You mean nikienda hiyo sherehe utarudi hapa nyumbani?
From Japan to Philadelphia, the fire rises.
Oh, come on! Contra from behind! Preventing Los Parks from enjoying this. Let's go. Contra in control. Los Parks.
I mean, shares the ring with Davey Boy Smith Jr. and the rest is history.
You competed with that injured shoulder. The shoulder was popped out of the socket. Oh, certainly, made the finals, but
LA Park. Eagle de LA Park. Tonight,
Mpambe Gibson Gadho Mbugwa almaarufu prosecutor kwenye kipindi ukipendacho Vioja Mahakamani kwenye runinga ya KBC Channel 1 anaomba usaidizi wako kudhibiti gharama ya matibabu ya figo. Jamaa na marafiki wameandaa mchango mnamo tarehe 11 mwezi ujao wa 6 kwenye ukumbi wa Charter Hall, jumba la City Hall jijini Nairobi. Waweza kutuma mchango wako kwa paybill number 247247, nambari ya akaunti 777626. Gibson amekuwa mwanani wako na wangu kwa muda usiopungua miaka 40 sasa. Ni zamu yetu nasi tuwe wandani wake wakati huu mgumu.
Welcome back to Good Morning Kenya. Just before we begin the next interview, I want to educate you with some of the vocabulary we're going to be using. Love, Lombotov. Today Mbatei. Oh my goodness. Boda boda. Ndumbu to thee. Wow. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, today is the day. Kama ni tongue twister, leo tutatang twist ile kabisa. Jeshi Jinga is in the building, but as they say, Jemeteshi Jibitinga wamekuja hapa. Good Morning Kenya. Welcome to the studios.
Kweli.
So swali ya leo tunataka kuuliza, is Sheng taking over the music industry in Kenya? Tutaanza na unaonaje?
Tunaweza sema tu Sheng has been taking over the music industry in Kenya. Yeah. For a while, since Gigetoni boom, Sheng will take over. Watu walianza kuadopt Sheng into their music, wenye wako na adopt. Hadi watu wa Costo wakaanza kuimba. Hadi masauti ulisikia kuna ngoma yake pia alimbaga na Sheng kidogo. Hadi watu wa Costo kidogo wanaanza kuimba pia na vitu za Sheng kidogo. So Sheng ina take over.
Lakini sasa this is a new creation yenye imebathiwa Kayombo Tole.
Yeah, Kayombo Tole, yeah. Hapo na ukoramba tada.
Nimeramba tada hapo.
Yeah.
Safi kabisa. I'm trying my best.
Yeah.
So ilibathiwa Kayole. Na ni nini ilifanya ikakuwa muhimu kuleta this new variant of
Shembeteng. So Shembeteng tukiwa hapa na Akamba Tasha na a few of our associates wa Jeshi Jinga. So the time Gengeton ilikuwa na boom, kulikuwa na question yenye mafans walikuwa nateta sana about content yenye iko hapo, explicit content, una get. So wase tuseme watu hiyo je tulikampia hatuna ile breaks, so tulikuwa tunasema everything na anything. So Shembeteng creation yake ilikuwa gani kuficha hizo words. Una get juu pia at the end of the day venye wanasemaga pia si wasanii ni kioo jamii. So tukificha hizo words at least watu wataweza kubambika na flow, na pia at the end of the day Shembeteng ilikuwa kuficha words na at the same time itengeneze good tonation kwa beat. Una get. So Shembeteng ndio hivyo ndio venye ilibathiwa. Bathi yake ilikuwa gani ya ku hide words.
Kwa hivyo in other words ni kama mmekuja mkasave genge tu. Kama unaona aje.
Naweza sema kama tumekumba tuja kusembete genge tu.
Buda. Tupeleke Mosmos.
Sasa unajua ni venye nimezoea kuongea hivyo.
Yaani ishakuwa second nature. Nakumbuka kuna time nilicheki mkibonga mkasema kuna master code mshai master. Na hata after hii kuna ingine
master code yani in short Kenya hadi ni Akasha alikuwa anasema tena Kenya alikuwa anasema ni since tumewapea Shembeteng sisi tutabaki na umeget juu si tuko tumezoea si ndio tunaongea Shembeteng tunaimba na hiyo Shembeteng
tunaramba taba
tunajua so tuko tunaficha hizo words na Shembeteng vitu kama hizo so tukiwapatia pia si tutabaki ni kaa tuna kitu tena so at the end of the day tunahitaji master code so ndio master code hapo Shembetije gamba taji.
Lakini Kenya inanibamba na Jembeteshi Jibitinga ni vile hii Shembeteng umepatia watu sasa mmefeature
ni free ya kila mtu
hadi mna provide vocabulary
true hadi dictionary inaweza kamba tam wataicheki wataitoa baba ina kamba tam
tutaipokea wewe
sina kamba tam si ati ni rahisi kuiandika lakini ina kamba
I can imagine lakini watu wakiwa hata tukisema ati hiyo jeshi jinga si ati watu waichukulie vile iko hiyo jina
hiyo jina yake ni sijui na ngoso wataitaje lakini hiyo jina jeshi ni tuseme watu kuungana pamoja unaelewa jeshi watu ungana kimoja unaelewa so venye home sisi utulia kama youth unaelewa ma boys ma dames sasa hiyo ni jeshi saa jinga si ya Kiswahili sanifu ati jinga ya ujinga hiyo upungufu wa kukua mwerevu kitu kama hiyo so jinga kwetu ni ukiwa home sheng sheng yetu jinga ni kave nimeingia na unayo watch yako hivyo naweza kwambia niko na watch jinga so get utabidi umeonyesha plug wako ni pia mimi watch jinga so jinga ni
kama kusema kitu iko stupid fresh
sasa hivyo sasa ama ngori in short
iko ngori ni mbaya
sango ngotori
jeshi jinga
Jembeteshi jinga
ume describe ni kama jeshi iko na mbogi kadhaa ndani
sasa ni makruju sisi tuna support giwase so tuko na wase wa different arts unaelewa sasa tupenda kujeka kwa box ati we are only artists so tuko na watu wa different arts pia different artists pia musically yani tuna support everybody from every field wenye tuna feel tuko na potential na wenye wanaingiana na fields zenye tunaingiana nazo tuseme hivyo so tunawasaidia so hence the word jeshi si wote ni jeshi si come to Jembeteshi Jembetinga so si wita mtu wewe ni mjembeteshi
kwa hivyo for instance mimi nikitaka kujoin Jembeteshi
wewe tayari wewe ni mjembeteshi huwezi taka kujoin unakuwa tu mjembeteshi si unabonga Shembeteng unapenda Shembeteng ndio hiyo wewe ni mjembeteshi unaramba tada unataka kuijumbu tu imbiti hivyo tu
na Kasha umetulia sana buda
mimi ni mbiti iko tu
umbiti
mimi nakuaga tu hivyo nimetulia najua umenicheki hapo kwa YouTube saa mimi napenda tu ngoma mirista hivyo saa hapo ndo nije express sana
baadhi hata kabla tuende mbali unajua wasibaka tu wanaona ni kama na waste time wanataka kusikia hiyo kasampuli ya Shembeteng kabla tuendelee
wala Sembete wanadambata kujumbutua Shembeteng ambata hapo unajumbutua ambata pa ni Jembeteshi Jembetinga tutapeleka na ramba tadayombo tote ya Shembeteng yenye mnadamba tai juu tumeka take over kama mashembeteng mamba tasta
wow
your December time
I feel like kuna inahitajika a certain level of intelligence kurada kinaendelea hapo na
sasa unaskimbitia siati wezi hitaji intelligent unaweza tulia tu unajua ukitulia hadi na sisi unaweza radaisha siati ni kitu lazima tukufundisha unaelewa unaweza adapt tu venye tu kikaa so unajua unaweza ndadi coast upate pia umepata hiyo accent ya kikost hiyo design. So hadi kutulia na sisi hatuhitaji tu kukufundisha, unaweza jua tu, unaweza tusikia venye tunaongea alafu unaweza adapt kukama
unaanza kusample kidogo kidogo. Nikisema nataka kuenda mahali na
natamba nataka kuembe tenda maamba tali. Unajua hii lugha mpya. Ufai kusahau lugha yako. Hii ni tuseme ni kangu unavalisha kwa lugha yako.
Nilisikia ukisema si lazima ati kuniswa peke yake, unaweza mix na
hadi ngoso, una get. Hakuna yani hadi kichingchong, ni vile hatujui hizo malugha zingine.
Kichingchong hadi
kichingchong botong, una get sasa.
Kichingchong botong.
Hadi kichingchong botong, hadi kijama ni hivi unaelewa, chama mbatan. Lumbutuga yombo tote inaweza ingiana nayo hadi ngoso, una get.
Acha tupige a quick background kabla tuendelee. For instance, wewe aquatic. Degree in aquatic.
Na mimi research ni
lazima nikupige research. Iliendaje from kukuwa na degree in aquatic science to Shembeteng master?
Sasa tuseme tu unajua mimi tuseme pande na education na music hizo ni tuseme ni tofauti. Education ni kitu yenye tulikia na system to do. Alafu music ni kitu iko ndani yako tuseme hivyo. So education nilido na si ati ni kitu bado tuseme tu ndaipursue in the future. Si ati nimeitoka.
Si ati umeitoka kabisa.
Ni vile tu pia music unajua jani na come venye na come. So music ili come through. So venye music ili come through pia during that duration. Nimekuwa tukimbaga for masaa mingi sana ama time mingi ya life yetu. So lakini during hiyo time ya kutoka chuo, during hiyo transition ya chuo transition ya chuo na music, kumbe ndio penye hiyo gengeto ndio ilikuwa ina boom. Umeget. So through that ndio ili bring hiyo question ya kupenya. So tuliave kukaa chini tuka brainstorm sana, tukajua hapa kuna venye tunahitaji tunafaa ku break through hii kitu juu tulikuwa tuna bring numbers zetu hazikuwa zina come through na si juu ya talent ama juu ya content. So tuli have ku come up na something new juu suna rada wale watu wote wanyame kitu na vitu mpya. So tuli have ku brainstorm, ilikuwa ni kitu genje. So tuli have kuka for a very
mlikalia down
sana. So tulikuwa hadi na home studio. So tuli have ku practice sana. So ilianza through songs. So through songs, kutoka kwa songs communication ikaanza coefficient. Ikakuwa by the kumbe tunajipata ile involuntary, kumbe tunaongea gadi lugha. So Shembeteng ikatushika. So si ngumu. Hadi wala sio kuna sasa naona critic wanasema ni ufala au itawasaidiaje.
Lakini sasa hata nasikia hata politicians wanabonga Shembeteng.
Itawashika wote. Tunasema ni
hata acha hivyo kulikuwa na full page story kwa magazeti
ya Shembeteng.
About Shembeteng. Mlikuwa mna expect success?
Atuseme bado isi success. Tuseme tu ni jani inaanza. Tuione si tunaiona hivyo. Jani bado ndio inaanza. Juu kuna sana tuliza ndio ina come through aje vitu kaa hizo. So tuseme si tunaiona kama ni jani inaanza. Hiyo ndio tunataka tujue tutamonetize. Juu tunataka ifike kitu kwanza si usemaga ni Shembeteng to the world. Tunataka ifike global kiasi. Hata ishike East Africa pia. Unaniget? Tanzania washikike kidogo hiyo Kiswahili yao pia. Watu wa mtaani pia si ati tuna corrupt then ile language yote wamekuwa kibonga. Ni tuna come up na simpler code yenye watu wanaweza kuwa ya kuwa make life iko tu easy ya kiasi.
Hata na swali kabla to conclude now. Shembeteng ilikam kwa sababu content vile ulisema. Conversation ikianza mtu anasema maybe hata ukificha bado unasema hizo maneno. Utasemaje?
Aje sasa sikusikia.
Sasa tuseme bado si zile maneno zinasemekana bado kwa Shembeteng. Mtu aseme bado ni content kuna vile ni dati. Unasemaje?
So mimi naweza kuexplain ya design. Juu ukitry kuingilia ndani ya Shembeteng yetu ni story unapata tumetumia vitu za chuo. Si ati ni vitu tumegeza, unapata hapo kuna vowels, kuna conjunctions zenye tumetumia hapo kwa katikati ya Shembeteng yetu. So unapata mtu mdogo sio lazima afikie hapo penye anasoma vitu hizo, lazima yani akuwe amesoma kiasi ndio atry kuenda kutengeneza words kama hizo sasa na azishike. So at least hii lugha yetu at least hata kwa toi ita take time before anze kushika kidogo. So lazima wa grow up kiasi
by the time kutoka na ingine master code
but sa master code ni genje hiyo saa lazima ukuwe tu unafikiria sana.
Itataka mtu at least ako sharp juu mtu ajue Shembeteng hawezi shika master code. So lazima master code ako anaweza kuelewa.
Tufanye hivi hata tufanye ka exercise. Kuna toko home unataka kubonga Shembeteng. Vizumbuturi tutaongea Mbetea. Shembeteng ni Mbete tusiongo. Na karibia so master code ni gani? Hebu tueleze. For instance umesema kuna zile rules za Shembeteng lazima ufuatilie.
So mimi naweza kushotuka suna skitu tunajiita Jembeteshi Jembetinga. So na master code tunasema ni Shimbitije ni gamba taji.
Shimbitije ni gamba taji.
Ni gamba taji. What does that mean?
Jeshi ni jinga. Sinisema jeshi ni jinga inamaanisha Jembeteshi Jembetinga. Jembeteshi Jembetinga inamaanisha Shimbitije gamba taji. Umeelewa? So hiyo ni master code. So mwenye anajua jeshi jinga hivyo. Hadi hii ni kitu suliona kwa gazo ma linguist walijaribu kuichanganua. Decipher. Si ati ni kitu unajua watu wanaiona ni kitu ujinga. Hii ni kitu imepitia fiti hizo matamsa za lugha zenye msemo mwenye ako form 1 saa hizi mwenye huenda form 1. The first topic atasoma ni Kiswahili. Atafunzwa venye ulimi sauti zinatoka kwa ulimi. You get. So hizo vitu zote ni tumeziapply hapo. Si ati ni kitu tumeanza kuenda ati vitu zetu tumekaa watu wanasema sijui watu ni
so you know the funny thing kwa sababu ni kitu mmekalia kabisa.
That's why inawashika. Funny thing wana hate ni inawashika. Sawa juu inawashikani kama juu wanabaki wajui lakini ni vile ni kitu
yani kisikiza ukibonga for instance okay just for you know
freestyle hivi
hata si uzi freestyle for the rest of the interview bonga Shembeteng I'll try to decipher yani kama nakuelewa Mr. Dhubutu
aina Shembeteng ndaongembetea msamba ndaongembetea lumbu tugaembe tetu na jumbu tutaskimbitia kila kimbitu na sembe tema jusi ngumbu tu ni lumbu tugatumia ndimbitike kwa fimbititi imbitize
bora unai rambatada
rambatada sasa unaona kwa rambatada
korada
iko hivyo tu
kuskimbiti unaweza iskimbitia hata ndio nimekushombo toto ukikaa na simbiti tu kiambata si unaweza ijumbo tu
sasa tuko na msee tuko na mamba tasta. Sasa sisi tuko na accounts za Timbi TikTok. So hizo accounts zetu watu wanaweza fombo tolo. So through those accounts tunaweza ingembe page. Umegembe tatu. So tunaweza ingembe page unatulimbitiza maswamba tali ama unaweza fuatilimbitia vimbidio zembe tetu tukibombo tonga Shembeteng.
I think the people back at home also want a short break after this interview. Thank you so much Jembeteshi Jembetinga for coming through and teaching us this new Shembeteng. We'll be back after this.
Well, hii studio imewaka na hiyo Shembeteng now. Nonetheless, let's just go back to
to us.
Let's go back to what you understand. Anyway, time for our last conversation this Thursday morning on Matters Entertainment, and we now want to shift our focus to film. Yes, the film industry is what we want to have a conversation around, and Emily Achieng is my guest. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you doing?
I'm very, very fine.
Is your mind still intact?
Yeah,
you can have this conversation.
Of course, yes. I'm an artist, but I'm trying to shembe toto. All right, we wish you all the best with your new linguistic language.
Omesema sio lazima, and it's nothing to do with age, so just relax.
Anyway, tumesha accept. Yes.
All right, so let's now come back to film.
Yes.
And talk about the film industry. And before we get to all, just try to understand where we are, what you're doing.
Yes.
Let's start with Tipo. Premiered last week?
No.
It hasn't?
Tomorrow day.
So we are still on track?
I'm telling you. It's gonna be inaitwanga hotter.
Just a day 2.
Just a day 2 hours. Actually, it's hours.
Oh, yeah, it is. Not like a full day, just some few hours to the premiere.
Yes.
And we love films. I mean, if you're someone who loves films, then you understand what we're talking about.
Nakwambia. First, you have to pronounce my name right. Emily Elizabeth Achieng.
And you watu waipade mnakwanga na highlights. What is that? What is that all about?
I felt like you didn't pronounce Achieng right.
How am I supposed to do it?
Emily Elizabeth Achieng.
Yes.
Achieng. Hapo ndio kuna sukari hapo kwa Achieng. Yes.
This is actually a Luo film, by the way.
Of course.
Tell us more.
Tipo is a film done in Luo, but it's not a Luo story.
Oh.
It's all of our story because everyone can connect to Tipo. Despite your ethnic background, this is something that it's not even, we cannot even say that Tipo is a Kenyan story. No. It's something that is now happening in the world. Yes. You know, we are a generation of beautiful smiles with depression.
Yeah.
So Tipo
with
is
lots going on.
Exactly, but we are very, very lively.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're just living through it, keep surviving.
Yeah, but now, again, we need to find solutions. This thing didn't start with us. We need to stop being happy people on pictures and sad in real life. Let's try and make it the other way around. Let's make ourselves happy and even have sad pictures, it's fine. Yes.
And no judge.
No.
I mean, you don't need to be judgy.
I mean, so someone who wants to judge you will judge whether you give them something to judge or not.
Okay.
Yes, so just be you, do you, whatever makes you happy, whatever you can. I'm one person that if I stretch like this and I can't do it, sweetheart, my hands will be back because I can't do it at the moment.
Yeah, more like me, as in what's beyond your control. I mean,
exactly.
Even if you go to heaven and come back, it's beyond your control.
Exactly. So
there's nothing you can do about it.
No, I can't do it. Relax. I'll try next time. So
this film is all about basically what, as a society, we are going through.
We are going through.
So just highlighting it in the Luo dialect.
Exactly. But because it's done in Luo and we have English subtitles, so everyone is invited to come watch Tipo. Because majority of us right now, everyone has knowledge. Your knowledge capacity is not as mine.
Yeah.
And this is the competition we are having in life, not knowing that we are able differently. There's something you can do, I cannot do. There's something I can do, of course, that you can't do. And these are the things that makes life worth it
and interesting.
Exactly. But now we are not accepting that there's something you can do and I cannot. It's like we are in a competition, not knowing that the healthy competition is against yourself.
Makes a lot of sense, Emily.
Exactly.
Now, yes, it will have subtitles, but one may just want to understand why choose the dialect. I mean, yes, tunaona pia kuna some films done in Kikuyu, in Meru. Kwanza there's one I watched at KNT in Meru. Mpaka unakaa hivyo, sasa anasema ni like una feel tu inakubamba.
Unaenda na flow. That's the beauty of art.
I mean, is it a space that Kenyan producers, if I should say, or the film industry is sort of taking a direction towards doing films in our different dialects? And what could be the reason for that?
You know, the first thing is you start charity at home.
Okay.
And we would lie if we say we are not going to do this in our own languages. Why? Every country is doing that. Even the countries that are, let's talk even of Nigeria.
South Africa is so big on that, by the way.
Nigeria the same, Ghana the same, and right now even Uganda, our neighbors, the same. So at the end of it, why are we conceiving what we can't? And at the end of the day, me, I believe as an artist, we are killing the tribalism. We are not killing our ethnic backgrounds. And at the end of the day, who are our targets? We want to communicate to our parents back at home, to our siblings back at home, and we want to communicate to you. That is why we are doing it in our dialect, but still having subtitles for you. So it means we are one at the end of the day. The diverse are what makes our country beautiful. At the end of it all, let's celebrate who we are. Yes, and these are our stories that touch us from where we come from our growing up. So this is where we need to start. Why should I watch Nigeria Yoruba language that I don't understand, yet I can connect to Kikuyu where I'll get to.
You can pick a
I can connect, you know. So for me, I'm one person that watches everything local. Whether I understand it or not, as long as I get the storyline, twende tukiendaga.
And actually, by the way, I've noticed that.
Yes.
I mean, it's like when you look at this series,
yes,
it's Kina. It's done in the, actually, it's an adapted TV series, script, which is from South Africa, The River.
Exactly.
And you realize good number of people that love film, they've watched The River with that South African.
Yes.
Nambaka wamelewa story. Now when they're watching Kina, they're just like, oh, now I relate.
And then they're like, sasa hii ni yetu. This one is now ours.
Yeah.
So that ownership, you know, because let me tell you, this is one industry that is always underrated.
Yeah.
Film and entertainment industry is underrated in our country. And that is why when we want to do something, you hear them bringing an artist from somewhere else and you're like, wait, why did you do that?
Kid Fest. When you have Kid Fest,
yes,
you unaonanga tu artists from different parts of the even African continent. Then Wakenya wako sasa huku mwisho.
Yes.
Why do you do that? Why?
Yes.
Why?
And you're like, this is one industry that creates employment. Even right now, without the support that we need, it has created employment. How? We have actors doing set books.
Yeah.
Are they not employed? They get something at the end of the day. We have screen actors, and then we have set books. We have everyone in this industry. We have, yes, and at the end of the day, this is one industry that ikikuwa managed vizuri from the government level coming down to our CMOs. This is one serious industry that can create jobs. You get what I'm saying? Like when Mr. President during COVID-19 said he's giving the industry 100 million, we were looking at least someone sees what we can do. And from there, that's when now all the content creators came out. Right now, everyone is trying to create a content. Everyone is trying to move out of the comfort zone. What we need is support. Come watch Tipo. Come criticize my characters, Pamela. Tell me, I love the way you did this. I didn't like the way you did this. And I'll be like, my next project, I want to make it even better because I know you have my back. But when mnashinda hapo, people are saying, oh, wasanii wakiwa juu, oh, wasanii. Let me tell you, it is hard in all sectors. And even ours is not easy. Actually, ours is worse because when you see us there, you expect us to have millions that we don't have. Exactly. We are telling your stories. We are telling our stories. I support mtu wa mjengo. Pia ya kuja ni support. Pia mi ni support engineer, ni support technician. Tuko sote Kenya. I mean, the fight is against poverty. Is not against exactly.
Or an industry or wasanii. Let's stick there a bit on criticism. And I just want to get your broader perspective on this.
Yes.
Tunasemanga criticism is good and we need to be able to decipher between positive criticism and when someone is just choosing to criticize.
Yes.
And when you look at good number of this criticism or when someone criticizes, inakwanga always comparison.
True.
And I'm not so sure if that's a good form of criticism. That they would say, unajua, South Africans do this or Nigerians do this, and then Kenyans, they'll say something like, your script or your creativity is not as to par, and that's why we don't watch this. Take a case in point. It got a point even in the Kenyan media between 10 and 12.
Yes.
Ungeenda kwa all stations. Nigerian content.
But let me
tulikuwa happy to create our own content.
We have been here. And let me tell you this one, hata sita mix words zangu. Kenyan actors are the best. Even in the world, we are the best because we are real. Unasikia? Ukiniambia ati you want to compare, let's say right now, ati unataka kuniambia Tokodi na Mike Ike wa Nigeria. I'll choose Tokodi every time. Why? We are authentic. You can imagine we are doing this much without much support. Sahi imefika to an extent unaangalia adverts unashindwa. What are they talking about? They go get someone else, they'll give millions. They want a Kenyan actor to do an advert, they're talking of 70,000. How? Are you even motivating
sometimes for free.
No, not for free. Unalipwa na asante. And then they expect you to live the same. Ndio hizo. Sema ni unalipwa na Yesu. And then they expect you to still be this. Exactly. Then another thing, you want an actor on set. You want to pay them peanuts. It means they'll go for even 4-5 gigs for them to meet their ends meet. Inamaanisha huyu actor hata deliver, ataangalia nalipwa wapi poa. Hii ndio sababu the actor atakupatia what we call handy on set. You want to pay them 5,000 per episode. What is that? And you want them there full time. And then you don't want them to be depressed. You still want them to deliver. It's like acting on Tipo. If you are mentally unstable, you will not deliver. Because Tipo is one script that was getting you out of the box. Tipo is one, you know, most of the time people say, let me have my lines. For Tipo, you are like, let me work on my actions. Because Tipo is emotional, draining than verbally. Yeah, so it means it goes back to your emotions, to your mental stability before you can deliver for Tipo. And that is why I just say, let's treat our actors as stars that we want them to be.
And I think that's largely what art is all about. It's emotions. I mean,
exactly.
Lines. Anyone can read lines.
Yeah, that's why we love it when they come in and say, me, I am pretty, nipatie hizo lines. I can deliver. Then you say, lines. Shika lines.
Alafu unapea mtu lines.
There's a time someone said, me, I would love to eat on set. I was like, you'd love to eat on set? Personal experience, I would never want to eat on set. I even avoid it. The person alikula mpaka jioni. Kwanza director kapo. You did not, your wide was not like that. So you're like, how did I eat in my mind? Can I say it? You look at it, then unakaa ukijiambia usanii ni kazi.
Yeah, so this thing is just
Cinema ni
beyond
kazi.
reading.
No. It's beyond reading. It's beyond being beautiful. It takes more.
And I think that's the point where we all miss.
Yes.
When it comes even to just art. And
yes.
I keep saying all the time that art cuts across. Even journalism is actually art.
Of course.
And people always think just looking nice on TV and looking and smiling. This thing is beyond that, eh?
Toto, you will know that it goes beyond the looks. It goes beyond just smiling.
Yeah.
It's communication, and sometimes you're even communicating to a deaf and dumb person, and you want them to read your face. Yeah, it's like you doing news about maybe an attack. You won't be smiling. You of course, you'll want to, as a human being, you'll feel the scene, and this is what you're talking about. That's art. I want to be happy and look lively. It is art. I want to look natural. It is art. You don't come to art and start dictating what role you want. That is why we have versatile actors and actors because hatuna kazi ingine ya kufanya.
Yeah, there's a difference in that.
A big one.
Okay. Now, as we wind down, you know, Emily, let's talk about the character.
Yes.
The role, Pamela.
Yes.
What was it for you getting into this role? Of course, when in Mjaluo, so clear that you can learn the language, you had it.
No.
But just being in that character, being in that space, what was it like for you? Rehearsing all through this time?
First thing when I saw the script, I was like, this one is going to be easy. Yeah. Then I started reading the script, then I'm seeing some gaps, and I'm like, and then my director looks at me in the face and says, now where there are no words, there are still words. And you know silence is loud.
Yeah.
So you're there looking.
It's communication.
I'm telling you. So I'm looking at the script and I'm like, then I said, I'm taking the challenge because this is a new role to me. And for me, connecting with it and my son, who's so indisciplined in the house, who's a drunkard, and my husband, you know, that I am trying to be wife material, 17 meters here, trying to be. So Pamela got me out of Emily completely. And now I had to wear Pamela and try to analyze Pamela. So I got to understand the role. Though I will not tell you it was easy, it wasn't. But when now I got to Pamela, I got to understand that woman.
Yeah.
And at least it gave me an upper hand of being comfortable with the woman and tell her story. Yes. And I believe the audience are going to love it.
So tomorrow they need to come and watch this.
You don't have a choice. I mean, being Kenyan is added advantage in being an African. We are just Wakenya tuko tu na tabia zetu tu. Just come, watch Tipo at the Nairobi Cinema. We are pocket friendly, considering it's just 1,500, and right now we have an offer of 1,000 for a ticket from 6 in the evening to 11. Dress code, whatever you feel comfortable in, that's it. Come
6
ready to enjoy.
11.
We are Kenyans. In Kenya, life begins after 10. That means after lockdown, So life begins after 10.
So in you film here, what, 5 hours?
It's about 2.5 hours. Yes, but
is it in two? Is it done in 2 phases, like 6 to something, or?
No. First, we're going to have like photo shoots. We're going to mingle.
So this is white kids.
Yes.
All right.
You are an upcoming actor. Come meet the producers. You're a musician. Come, let's work together. And again, you never know. We say, every day is a stepping stone. Tomorrow might be your stepping stone as an actor, and also as because I also do voiceover, and I am also a motivational speaker. So we have a lot to talk about. At the end of the day, come with an open mind. Yes.
Good place to end this conversation. Come with an open mind. Kuwa Nairobi Cinema kesho. From 6,
yes.
Sijali itaisha saa ngapi? Just from 6 p.m?
Mpaka hata hiyo siku ingine.
Hata mpaka Monday?
Yeah, I mean, wewe ni Mkenya. I was waiting.
All right.
Yes.
Good place to end this conversation. I've been speaking to Emily Aching. And we'll be talking about the scope of Kenyan theatre and film industry, of course, as they gear up towards their film Tipo, which will be premiering tomorrow at the Nairobi Cinema. So make your way there, get a feel of, Kenyan film. Good place to end this conversation, and ultimately, good morning, Kenya, this Thursday morning from me and on behalf of the entire team that made this show a success. We say thank you so much for watching. We do this again next week. Have a beautiful weekend.
Narok County generates huge revenue from the world-famous Masai Mara National Reserve and the agricultural sector. Two candidates, Moitalel Olekenta and Patrick Olentutu, are gearing up for the next governor of this county. What is their agenda for Narok? Don't miss the Narok County gubernatorial debate this Thursday, 2nd of June from Masai Mara University, exclusively on KBC Channel 1 from 9:50 p.m. Mpambe Gibson Gadho Mbugua almaarufu prosecutor kwenye kipindi Ukipendacho Vioja Mahakamani kwenye runinga ya KBC Channel 1 anaomba usaidizi wako kudhibiti gharama ya matibabu ya figo. Jamaa na marafiki wameandaa mchango mnamo tarehe 11 mwezi ujao wa 6 kwenye ukumbi wa Charter Hall, jumba la City Hall jijini Nairobi. Waweza kutuma mchango wako kwa paybill number 247247, nambari ya akaunti 777626. Gibson amekuwa mwanani wako na wangu kwa muda usiopungua miaka 40 sasa. Ni zamu yetu nasi tuwe wandani wake wakati huu mgumu.
Naam, hii ni Mitikasi Leo, makala kutoka BBC. Yaliyomo: BBC imezuru moja ya hoteli nchini Rwanda ambapo wakimbizi wa Uingereza wanatarajiwa kupokelewa. Baadaye mamia ya wakazi katika mkoa wa KwaZulu-Natal walazimika kuyahama makazi yao kutokana na mafuriko mapya yanaendelea kushuhudiwa nchini Afrika Kusini. Kisha tunapigia msasa swala la ukosefu wa usalama wa kazi Afrika. Moja kwa moja kutoka Nairobi, Kenya. Twende kazi. Masalamu popote ulipo, karibu katika toleo la leo. Makala inaangazia habari za biashara zinazokuhusu. Uchambuzi wa kina na mahojiano ni Telinas Moshigadi. Tuzungumzie swala la wakimbizi Afrika, ambapo shirika la kimataifa kuhusu wakimbizi linakadiria kuwa kufikia sasa watu milioni 1.9 raia wa Afrika ya Kati wametorokea makazi yao. Hii ni thuluthi moja ya jumla ya watu katika nchi hiyo, na ndiyo idadi ya juu zaidi kurekodiwa barani humu. Uganda inahifadhi zaidi ya wakimbizi milioni 1.4 na imepokea takriban dola milioni 41 mwaka